Hello, hello. Oh, hello, knock. That should work. Congratulations on finally rolling. Actually, it's not even a 1 in 7 chance anymore. It's a, I think it's a 1 in 9
We feel that vibe all night.
to get a duck on your first roll in the
Feel it.
little stream avatars gacha. Everyone loves a good gacha. If you think about it, it kind of is a gacha, right? You need to deposit channel points in order to roll for a new sprite. Because I think on the last stream, some people just kind of sent me their sprites, and now they're just kind of there. How neat. Let me see. How do I do this? How's it going? It's going all right. It's going all right. I don't really know. I don't know. How is it going? How is it going for you? And maybe I can try to steal your answer. I suppose that's how it's going for me. I don't have an answer for how it's going. So, you know, no news is good news. I'm going to get my second dose today. Oh, baby. That's not how it's going for me. Please adjust your answers so that I may steal it. Anyways, let's get to it. Actually, we're not about to get right to it. There's something I need to do really quick. But congratulations on the second dose. The second dose was the roughest for me because that's when all the 5G waves really started to resonate with me. But after that, you know, I can feel Jeffrey, Mr. Bezos, talking to me subconsciously at all times. It's going good. Nice. Anyways, here we are. Platforms could work as a time bigger setup. Yeah. But yeah, check this out. I was working on this actually like all last week, but it's a WebSocket controller for Godot, or an OBS WebSocket thingy for Godot. Very neat. Have our project and all that. I don't really need to use it, and actually this editor plugin is completely extraneous. It's not really super useful. I think this will just work if I just run the demo by itself as well. So I don't even need to use the WebSocket controller, but we can connect. Oh, okay, so it just auto-connects itself. Very cool. So I can go to just different screens. Oh baby, look at that. Just by clicking on all of these. And then I can also, oh, there's a bug. That's cool. That's cool. Well, anyways, won't necessarily fix that right away. Oh, it's because ooh, okay. Anyways, this should work. It works as an editor plugin a lot better. Whereas when I'm trying to run it as this is just the editor plugin code slapped into a standalone demo. So I haven't really tested it, but it's a very simple script. All we do, WebSocket connection to OBS, set it up. The authentication was a bit weird, since Godot's ability to marshal stuff and create SHA-256 buffers is bizarre. We got it done. And after this is all you really need to do is send a command, which is just a JSON thingy. I cannot tell you how nice it is to just be able to send just a regular JSON once again, as opposed to having to deal with SOAP. Or it's not even pure SOAP, it's form data. We send form data, get back SOAP. So this is it's been a nice change of pace. Anyways, this is neither here nor there. I still need to integrate this into my little stream tool though. The last bit. Anyways, let's get rid of this. What we're gonna be working on is this thing here, which is something I was working on like just forever ago. Not forever ago, but it feels like forever ago. So it's the... Oh geez. Wait for it. I forget what the cooldown is. But it's this thing. I've changed it from being sprite graphics to whatever the heck this is. I guess it's very MapleStory-like graphics if you kind of don't think about it too hard. Where MapleStory is it's sprite based. However, this is not sprite based, but MapleStory is also just like a model with other pieces of sprites stuck all over it, and that's kind of what I'm going for. Damn, they're twitchy. Yeah, they are kind of twitchy. Also, it's the problem is when they start turning corners, the kind of following algorithm doesn't really adjust it too well. So yeah, that's a problem when you kind of go back and forth like that, because they catch up too quickly. But it's kind of difficult because if I lower the speed on the followers, then it just feels really bad. Like it feels good when they're kind of stacked closely like this, but when you space it out, it's not good. Add a delay, it doesn't feel great. So what I need to do is probably just have kind of some more wiggle room for switching the animation. So they'll kind of like jog in place for a little bit probably, because the problem is that they're not moving for a little bit. At a minimum distance before moving, they do have a minimum distance. The problem is if I increase the minimum distance, let me pull up VS Code. Oh no, it's my WebSocket thing. I have written a very simple, I guess, relay server for any of my future games. So if I want to have like a high scoreboard, because I was inspired by some of the other Ludum Dare stuff. So some of the other Ludum Dare stuff, they are, some of the Godot ones, they actually have leaderboards, and I thought that was really cool. So I was like, wait a minute. What if I just kind of create a really simple, HTTP, not even secured, HTTP and unsecured WebSockets thingy, just for jam games in the future. Why? I don't know. I thought it'd be cool. Alright. But that's written in Go, and it works. Let me see. Where is it? I have a similar thought in the past. Nice. I like Google Play services, but free. Yeah. The best kind. Well, it only needs to exist for like a really short period of time. That's my thinking about it. And I'll just let someone else handle the certificate stuff, or the lack of certificates. I'll let someone else handle the ingress and egress. So, I mean, actually, to get really distracted once again, check this out. So there's a relay monitor. I wrote just in Godot for whatever reason, if only just to have the UI. And then there is the, what did I call it? One of these. It's a Go project. So we'll do Go, run, CMD, whatever this is. So this just works over unsecured WebSocket. Starts broadcasting on whatever. It should be fine. Then we have this. So there's our WebSocket connection with my my IP address. The best port, by the way. I always forget that you can't do 69420 as the port, because ports don't go that high. But then you can do one of these. Hopefully we're able to connect. I forget, am I actually broadcasting? No, we timed out. Actually, what is it? Why am I not broadcasting? Will this not work? Well, this is embarrassing. I forget how it works. It was connect, wasn't it? So we can establish a connection. How did I write this again? Well, whatever. We failed at the demo. But technically these fields do work. I just need to remember how it works again. Or what the port was, but I'm not gonna look into it right now. Because I unfortunately have not stored this value here, which is the broadcast port. What's the relay manager? So the idea behind this is that at least for the relay, it's just a high scoreboard, so it'll expose one endpoint, but you don't have any. That's all you have is you can either connect via WebSocket, so you can, I guess, rebroadcast other WebSocket messages. That's the idea. That's really easy. But this one, it will connect. Any connections from this thing will be, I guess, administrator access. And so it will rely on basically a hard-coded token, but what's not to like, I guess. And so it'll allow me to, clear the data, do all the requisites administrative stuff on the relay. So Godot games, they only have very restricted write access. This one, will just accept anything I give it because it's administrative access, because I pass along a header with a connection. So it kind of upgrades me to an admin level access. It's a bit dangerous, but I don't care. Anyways, I'll need to look up what the port is again. I'm pretty sure that's the port though, because I am childish enough to do that. Let's see. Player unit. No, this is in player line. Yeah, that's the idea though. So we have just the Go server, so you get the native level performance with garbage collector, so not quite as fast as something like Rust. But it was pretty easy to write, although I forget how it works. Because it's pretty much just the Golang Gorilla library. It's just that example. But just everything is stored in memory. Everything is stored in memory, at least until it turns off, I should say. Because storing data to your file system is for nerds. Still can't fathom why I write all this stuff in Godot. Well, this one's in Go, so it's not quite Godot. That's the difference. Actually, what's in server? Yeah, no. Oh, I need something in my. I don't know. This one's in Go. The monitor tool is in Godot. So it's not all this stuff. It's only half of the stuff. I like having a visual interface. Right. It's like I could do this in another tool, but then I'll have to work harder just to have a visual, a GUI. Then I'll need to, you know, use Qt or Dear MGUI. What is it called? Dear MGUI? Dear MGUI? Whatever, however the heck you pronounce this thing. Yeah. So like, I know that there's a lot of bindings to that. I don't think you appreciate how easy, dude. Yeah. But I like being able to see my UI before I create it. Immediate mode is so easy. Yeah, it looks easy, but it's just that. It's another tool I'll need to learn. GUI on Rust. Yeah, I've seen the packages, yeah. Maybe one of these days. Not today though. But I have seen it. I have seen it. It looks nice. It looks nice. I've just like looked over the code before and it's like, you know, you just kind of write it and it works. So that's cool. You can even, yeah, I saw that someone was working on something like that. So someone was working on, it's like a Godot Rust game, but they've pretty much ripped out all of the GD script stuff. And so I think they have like Hex, H-E-C-S, doing most of their, I guess, gameplay logic, maybe? What is it called? The process? I don't know. And then they wrote a binding to it. Yeah. It looks cool. I've considered integrating it, but... So let's see, how does this work? Position to move speed. Oh, it's the move speed, but also the spacing of value. Which is either based off of your unit spacing or your minimum move distance, which is what I was trying to show off before I got like really distracted talking about just random other stuff. All right, I'm off. Time to 5G myself. Nice. Be sure to praise our Lord and Savior, Jeffrey, after you get your jab. Godspeed. Knock. Thanks for hanging out as always. Alright, so maybe I can actually tune this a little bit better. Take it easy. So it's the unit spacing. So I could... I don't want to lower the spacing. If anything, I would want to increase this value to like 150 or something, right? And then... really should start... yeah. So if you increase the value, it actually gets even more trippy. So the problem is not with the spacing here, it's with the... it's with the whatchamacallit. What am I trying to say? It's the problem is not with the move speed, because if I lower the move speed, it just gets more delayed, which feels bad. It's like the animation changing. So what I need to have is another kind of variable to store the wiggle room between changing animations to just another animation, right? Or changing animations between moving and not moving, perhaps. let's see. How do we want to do this? So this is our animation changing logic. So right now there's really only 2 animations for players. So we can look at the player unit stuff. Abstract player unit, oh baby. There's idle, run, and walk. So whenever we change between pretty much anything to idle, yeah, whenever we change to the idle animation, I think we do want to wait a little bit. So we'll have an idle change to idle wiggle room amount. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. Yeah, let's do that. Let's see, I'm trying to remember since it's been about, I think 2 weeks since I've worked on this. No, it's been more than 2 weeks. Oh geez. Alright, so this is our animation stuff. Everything has an animation. Everything uses roughly the same logic for moving between animations. However, I think players need to have an additional thing for switching between animations. So let's see. This is like, I really like regions in C#. It's such a good feature since C# is JIT compiled. How nice. So it's fast. Let's see. We'll have protected, float, protected constant, float. We'll call this one to idle anim max, animation max. Call this, call it half. I think that's fair, right? So whenever you want to switch to an idle animation, you'll have to get to this value first. Protected, float, to idle animation counter. Yeah. We'll just make this a field as well. Also, I'm kind of looking at how I drew up the variables. That's not quite correct. Yeah, these shouldn't be, well, yeah, my naming scheme is a bit weird here. My naming scheme is a bit weird, for sure. I guess protected, protected fields can still be, what's the naming convention in C#? C# naming convention. Naming standards. Let me see. This is the GitHub. I think this is also sponsored by Microsoft. Look at this. Let's see. Pascal casing, camel casing for meth, blah, blah, blah. Do not use Hungarian. Avoid using abbreviations. Do use Pascal or camel casing. Okay, so what is the identifier type stuff? Let's see. Public. Yeah, public, you always want to do Pascal case. That's easy. Ooh. Where are you like this? So that's what I'm confused about. if it's... When do I camel case? Let's see. Field... Oh, a field name is camel cased. Okay. Field names are camel cased. Nice. These are fields. Which means this should be a field, which means this is wrong. Yeah, let's just change this now. Just so I... even though this is not a public project, it is good practice to try to do this. So that whenever I eventually do work on, you know, a real project that uses C#, people aren't just losing their mind. Because I, for whatever reason, have chosen to ignore standing naming convention. I have noticed that in a lot of Godot projects, in that, you know, I'll be on the Godot subreddit and be like, well, we're working on an open source so-and-so, you know, Pokemon clone, which is another, you know, problem in and of itself because I used Pokemon in the name, right? About to get cease and desisted by Nintendo. But then, anyways, I'll go in, look at their code, and it's all like GD script using camel, or like a mix of camel casing and snake casing for pretty much all their naming stuff. And it's just, oh, this feels bad. This feels really bad. That's not what you should be doing. If only because it clashes pretty heavily with a lot of the engine arguments. Which is actually one of my complaints with the programming language Julia. Is that Julia, the programming language, her name is Julia, I'm sure that you're a wonderful person, but I think Julia, the guidance from like the programming language whatever's, the authors, is that the naming convention is just all lowercase, which is bizarre, but it looks like most of the libraries or the language's library developers just follow like Python naming conventions, which is snake case. So it's really jarring seeing, you know, lowercase, you know, standard library stuff intermixed with snake case. Yeah, just kind of a weird thing to do. If next animation is equal to, let's see, what is it called? Unit animations idle. Then we'll do next animation is unit animations idle. There's a good way of doing this. Hold on, I just need to get the idea into my head first. It's been a little while since I've done C# as well, so it's kind of throwing me for a loop. To idle animation counter plus equals delta. Right. Yeah, to idle animation counter plus equals delta, and then if to idle animation counter is greater than or equal to a to idle animation max, then we'll do all this stuff. I guess we'll be duplicating it. Hold on, this doesn't seem right. So you can do both of these. Also do that return. Early return. Oh, actually, you don't want an early return there. You must do an if-else. Otherwise, you kind of... There's no way to, you know, easily escape from this loop, unfortunately. Ooh. slap that there. If next animation, blah, blah, blah. We could just have like a flip animation or transition to, or play next animation. That doesn't make a lot of sense to you, even though we are repeating ourselves here. We could. We could. We could just wrap this very, very small amount of code. Right? Because what this is it's supposed to do this. Right? It's so we don't flip in between moving and not moving too often. Or I guess moving and idle too often. So they are a bit jittery now, but you can kind of see that they're no longer spazzing kind of between. Spazzing's still like an okay word to say in the current day. They're kind of very rapidly, well, they no longer rapidly flip between the idle animation and the moving animation, which is good. However, you can still kind of see that there's a bit of stutter step, but it's just a very, very small amount of stutter step, like there. But I think that's fine. I think that's fine. Is skill 1 on cooldown? Let me see. Skill 1 on cooldown. Awesome. Okay. So here's something else I need to change, is that I think all of these need to be set to true really quickly, just for testing. Or no, not for testing. This is actually how it should actually be. But for this one, skill 1 on cooldown, we'll just set it to 1 for now. Just add a note to do debug. I think I'm actually going to keep this. Even though this is kind of ugly, what I'm going to do is we'll just hit it with one of these. We'll do private void play next animation, I guess. How are you supposed to do private functions in C#? I don't remember. Private. I guess all functions are just Pascal case, I guess. Okay. Switch animation to, and so switch animation to next. Okay, that's fine. This will work. Yeah. And this, all this does is it just wraps this part. How nice. Switch animation to next. We don't really need to test it again, but I'm gonna test it again just for my own sanity. Yeah, okay. So there is still a little bit of stuttering because I haven't changed anything related to that logic, but that's gonna be good enough for now. Yeah. These also stay on the field for too long. I need to think about that as well. But that's not too hard to change, I think. So we go into attacks. There's spear thrust. Should apply damage. No, that's in player spearman, right? Yeah, it's according to the lifetime. But see, for all of these attacks, they're all kind of configured via an animation player, which is a bit strange. Bear with me. So if I just change this to 1 second in the C# code, I mean, yeah. Hold on. Okay, so they don't have any collision boxes configured. Yeah, okay. I think that's okay. Look at that. And also, they can get kind of stuck on the enemies, which I think is neat. Okay. So let's start doing the damage stuff. Let's start doing the damage stuff since I have the bare minimum of attacks ready. The very, very bare minimum, which is just the one spear thrust. And of course, all of this code is based off of like this game jam submission. Let me see. From a little while ago. When did I submit this? Hold on. When was the... Oh my god, this is from 49 days ago. More than a month ago. That's crazy. But anyways, if you want to play the game, there's the GD script stuff if you want to check it out. I'm not doing this in GD script. I've rewritten this in C#. If only because at the very, very end of the game jam, started running out of time because I realized that I needed types basically. I needed static typing, and not like Godot style static typing, which is just like a type suggestion. It's very Python style. I needed actual static typing that will tell me where all the errors are coming from, because it just won't run because of the static typing. Let me see. So this stuff, I think that's okay. We go into abstract enemy unit. Let's see. Hello, needle mouse, sus. Don't lie to me, Walt. There's an imposter among us. You sussy baka. That's not a popular meme anymore. I'm sorry. I'm old. I don't do popular memes. How are you doing, Needle Mouse? Look at this. I'm you. And it's just get it. I still don't know who you are. But I must assume. I think I'm. Are you? Hold on. They're in JavaScript for a Discord bot. Very nice. JavaScript, very good choice. Very easy to deploy. Very easy to write as well. It's very forgiving. That's kind of why GD script is also kind of nice to run, is because it works in a similar way. AKA, if you mess up your logic, it'll just keep trying to run. Which is why it is very forgiving to write. But yeah, this is where we're at if you have just joined the stream. So we're at this part. We have just 4 dudes who all look identical, but we're able to flip between all of them. And look at that. And also have fixed a lot of the kind of animation stuttering stuff. It does look a bit bad, so whenever you stop moving, they kind of like run in place for a little bit. So I'll need to think of a better solution regarding that, but not today. Because it's good enough. Been following tutorials, but bot no work. Shouldn't they... Couldn't you just like look up the end state of the bot and just use that code? And you can start working off of that. Right, the JavaScript bot, pretty simple. I've looked that up before. It's very similar to the Python bot in that you just set up your callbacks, right? You authenticate and then you're pretty much good, right? I've written a Discord bot before if you want to take a look at that, but that's not in JavaScript. And that's in Go. It's also in dire need of rewrites, but you know, look at this. I am trying to work in I guess a Twitch bot integration as well into it, but I don't know. There's so many things I need to do, not enough time. Too many things to do, not enough time. Because I do need to get another release of this program out as well, but I don't want to work on it. I think I'm burnt out on working on that. I want to work on a game again. I guess 2 games. Do you recommend Go for making a Discord bot? It depends on how familiar you are with programming. I think if you're comfortable with programming, then you should you should go for it. But if you aren't, then I think JavaScript or Python are very good choices. The Python library, actually, I checked like last week, and it's actually deprecated. So the Python library maintainer has given up on it. Oh, hello, JK boys. Boys JK. Python is bad, IMO? Why do you think Python is bad? Shut brand. Isn't it silence brand with the crab? I've seen that meme on Twitter. I'm hip, I'm with it. Just aesthetically, like the syntax. I love the syntax. I'm a huge fan of the syntax. The syntax is dope. Oh, hello, Feldy. I think I recognize you. I recognize you from one of the Discords. Ren's Discord, yeah. Alright, so I think I need to work on this part. Which is abstract enemy unit. This is where I am. Yep. I'd rather have my curly braces and jagged indentations. That's gross. I like Python because it forces you to... You don't need to have a... It's not a linter, it's called a style checker. Yeah, you don't need like a style checker. You can just rely on the program. I guess that's also why I like Go. Except Go doesn't really enforce a style besides just the normal Go stuff. Yeah, the good thing about Python is that it looks similar. It all looks the same way, which makes it easy for me to parse. So in terms of like open source projects, I like looking at Python. Java open source projects, usually garbage. Everyone does their own thing. JavaScript open source projects, usually garbage. Everyone does their own thing. C+. You could just make C. You could just fork C++ and just release it as C+. I guess. Couldn't you do that? I like curly braces. I do love a uniform style that can't be argued. Yes. Join the cult. Holy C? Absolutely not. R.I.P. R.I.P. whoever that guy was. You will be remembered. In that, it's not internet history. Down the rabbit hole video. Yeah. I watch things on YouTube sometimes. It's impressive. It's impressive. Holy See. Holy See is a person? No, you're talking about the Holy See. Easy mistake to make. Darn you, English. What am I doing? Oh, it's because I'm not hooked. This isn't hooked up to anything. That's why it's not working. Phenomenal. Okay. I think. So this is a kinematic body. How did I do this in... How did I do this in GD scripts? So let's just... Party rotations. The worst syntax out of all is the math notations. I don't really mind. I think the worst syntax out of any language I've used is probably Perl. I hate Perl syntax. Math notation at least is declarative, right? So like once you learn what they all mean, it's okay. It's just that getting to that point of learning all the math related syntax stuff is tough. But Perl, pretty bad. PHP, also not a huge fan of the syntax for that. You know, I think modern JavaScript, like Webpack JavaScript, I actually don't like that. I actually strongly dislike that that syntax. Alright, so there is... Do these have a damage area? Base enemy unit. Do they have any on-ready VARs? Base unit. What do you have? Here. Objective-C. Yeah, Objective-C is... it's objectively bad syntax. Math is like x86 assembly. It's pretty straightforward, but has 1,000+ pages. You have to remember from the top of your head to understand it, I suppose. I think assembly isn't too difficult. There's only how many instructions are there in x86 assembly? There are I forget. I only know Game Boy assembly, or I've only looked into Game Boy assembly, I should say. I understand the logic behind it, but I don't like writing assembler. We've gone too far once we got into assembler. I think I'd rather, there's other performance enhancements I can make to my code besides writing assembly. Assembly to the compiler. Exactly. Assembly is for computers. I'm just a calculator. Haha. How did I do this? That's crazy. I wrote this code 49 days ago. Actually, this code was written 2 months ago? Is 2 months 49 days? No. I think including all the legacy instructions, there might be 10,000. Are there in x86? Alright, so really? That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. Really? I mean, this is just a really quick Google search. So let's out you immediately. Assembly instructions, opcodes. How many are there? Amount. All right, maybe it's just this one. Oh, there's a few. There's a few, yeah. That only looks like, call that 40. 16-bit and 32-bit instruction sets. Yeah, I guess if you're including all the bit stuff, it can bloat itself. True optimized code is written in binary. I don't think you can just write raw binary, unfortunately. That'd be cool if you could. And there are extensions, yeah. At what point does it change from being, I guess, assembly to just like an assembly add-on? Alright, so I'm looking at this. I don't need this anymore, but we'll keep it up. How did we do? Oh, it's because I'm still thinking of the game jam stuff I did from the Ludum Dare. Yeah. So, units don't need to listen for damage. Yeah. But that was a workaround I had to make for the game jam. So game jam, I had to switch it around. So I like it when things attack other units, not units listening for attacks. But that's really just kind of a matter of preference. But you do need to pick one direction to go in. Do you listen for attacks, or do attacks listen for things to hit? You do not want to do both of them. Yeah, I think assembly is cool. Not for me. Not for me. Even now, going between like C# and like GD script, which is basically Python, Rust and Golang, I'm like, man, I think I just prefer writing GD script. Golang is okay. Golang has a lot of quirks though. But C++, eh. Let's see. Body entered. Ashrat. Visible damage, we don't need that. Is it because... So am I actually registering damage? Am I crazy, or did I just not read it correctly? So, you look at these. Look at these. Look at these. You don't have another skill, that's my bad. Flip between all of them, because they technically all have built-in cooldowns. I do need to fix this, where they will all kind of... They don't have collision with each other, but they should. Minimize my assembly usage, but as an embedded developer, that's impossible to avoid. I like how a lot of professionals are using Godot engine. How many... I don't do embedded. My dad does embedded, but... I'm like, I did like one embedded thing in college, and that was it. You know what? These guys should be flashing red. And also, this is incorrect. Look at it. He's like moonwalking towards this position. I like that. Yeah, I did. It's not really embedded, I guess. It was Arduino, which is baby's first embedded system. How many professionals are using Godot engine? I know there's Tesla. That's a good one. Who else? I write just random plugins for Godot engine. Like I wrote an OBS WebSocket plugin for Godot. I was showing that off at the very start of this stream. It totally works. I know a Twitch streamer who's someone who worked with AAA games. Yeah, Jitspo, yeah. Well, I mean, were they the lead? Were they the project lead? I don't think he was a project lead. If you're just a programmer, it's kind of like, right? Like technically I worked for, you know, you can spin it however you want. It's just how you phrase it or how you frame it. So, you know what? Target group needs to be changed to, yeah, okay, that's why this didn't work. So we do Spear Thrust. Damage. Yeah, so like if I say that, oh, he was senior developer? Oh, that's neat. That's pretty good, I guess. Senior developer. Still not project lead, but you definitely made it. You definitely made it past 2 years at the very least. Try making a microkernel, but that's how the 3 different boot stages and 2 different interrupts. That sounds tough. Anything having to do with boot, I applaud you. I hate working with boot systems. Yeah, that's why this isn't working, by the way. Yeah, I think just working with Linux level boot stuff, like I'm technically trained on recovering like all different types of unrecoverable RHEL systems. And pretty much all of those kinds of center around, you know, getting around the dead boot system. Or just assuming that the boot system is completely borked. And I was already like, I don't want to do this anymore. Alright, so this is bugged. They're not clearing themselves properly, which is cool, but they do have a neat death animation. And by neat, I mean it's okay. Yeah. Is this mono or .net? Aren't those the same thing? At this point in time, aren't mono and .net the same? Yeah. Like mono is the cross-platform runtime .NET is the library, or I guess not the library, it's the whatever. So you can use like .NET Core, there's .NET Framework, etc. Aren't those the the two things? So Mono is the old open source runtime. I'm not sure. Let me see. This is the build of Godot Mono. I've compiled myself, so I suppose it's Mono, but I'm able to use .NET libraries. .NET Core is old. Is .NET Core old? It still has a recent release. They are coming out with .NET. Isn't the most recent one .NET 5, and then there's .NET 6 on the horizon? Yeah. Yeah, to be honest, I don't know. I do know that I need the Mono runtime to compile this, so I suppose it would be Mono, but I am running this. What version of .NET am I using? I think I'm using some version of .NET Core. Let me see. I'm using .NET 5. So I'm not sure where that puts me. I don't know why Uni doesn't upgrade to .NET. I don't know. You're talking to a Java developer professionally. And an enterprise Java developer at that. And I don't even do Java anymore, so I guess it's that's a completely moot point in and of itself. Since I only really do infrastructure as code and containers and all that good stuff. So it's a lot of Ansible, a lot of Groovy scripts, and Groovy sucks. A lot of Bash scripting, a lot of Perl for whatever reason. Botnet. Botnet. Technically running a botnet, not illegal. Mr. or Mrs. Mr. Mrs. Miss Operator Coney. Coney 2012, etc., etc. DevOps specialist. I am open source consultant for a big open source company. So take from that what you will. My real name is in my profile if you wish to dox me, but I can neither confirm nor deny anything. Yeah, no, not DevOps specialist. I just kind of do whatever is needed. So DevOps was hot. They needed a DevOps guy. I said, yeah, I know Jenkins. Totally. Definitely. And here I am, I guess. First one that made that connection on my name. Was it? I didn't realize it was actually a Coney thing. I was just making a joke. Guess I'm not as funny as I thought. All right, bring this back. So I wrote this once in GD scripts, so we can figure this out. She got an internship as a Rust developer. Ooh, we have a customer that may soon hire full-time Rust devs. I am technically also a full-time Rust developer. I was interviewing, I may or may not have been interviewing, I should say, for another job. I was looking for Python people and Rust developers. So both ends of that spectrum. Because they needed people who could work with their current test framework and then their core product as well. And so they were having trouble finding people who could do both. And guess what? I said I could do both, even though I don't really do all that much Rust. Yeah, I think it's Palm, XML. Palm files aren't bad. You just need to manage it properly. If you don't manage it properly, then you're in for a bad time for sure. All right, so let's create one of these. So, yeah, I think the problem is when you have a big mono project, or not like mono as in C#, but like mono project is in like your project. You have a big super palm, and then you have a lot of mini palm files under it. That's when it starts getting really bad, because it doesn't play nice with DevOps systems. So you need to go into every single palm file, update it, and if some build fails somewhere in between and you don't have correct rollback code, then you are... it's a very sad day for you. Because now you need to manually update every other POM file. Weird, since Rust isn't that much of an industry standard as of yet. It's gaining traction. The problem is that there's no libraries for it, which is fair. The problem is that there's no libraries. So once people start writing more bigger stuff or cooler stuff with it, like it's this kind of the same thing with Go. So once Go started having like a bunch of, you know, fancy libraries and all that, really started to pick up. Or, you know, not when it started. Once it started having it, came with fancy libraries since it was Google. Build Gradle files or worse, breaks compatibility all the time. I don't know. I'm not lucky enough to work with Gradle. From what I've worked with it with like libgdx projects and stuff, it looks okay, but maybe I'm crazy. In this 4 students, I know what they're doing, making changes on POM on a daily basis. Well, imagine this. You have a team of 8 developers, 7 of which are incompetent, and they're all making changes to the POM on a daily basis. And to be fair, I was one of those 7 at one point in my career. But those days are more or less behind me now, hopefully. Hard to say. What is the most enjoyable language for you? Most enjoyable language for me, Python. I like Python. It's easy. It's nice to write. I don't need to worry about it too much. That's pretty much it. That's kind of my opinion about a lot of languages, is that if I need to worry about memory management, I don't work with anything that really needs the performance. And also Python 2 was the first language I learned, so that's also like probably a big factor. And also looking at, I don't know, it's just easier for me to parse Python projects, Python open source projects, because, you know, Python kind of forces you into writing it in a certain way, which is good. Some people don't like that, but I think it's fantastic. Build Gradle files are full build scripts. Yeah, I know that. If you have simple stuff, in case you probably use Maven, so the scripts are depending on who made them, which makes it very fragile. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, don't most people use like just a generator anyways for Gradle files? Like I know that a lot of, like doesn't libgdx, maybe it's not libgdx, oh it's mini2dx, which is based off of libgdx, mini2dx. Yeah, this one uses a generator, and then also just Gradle has a generator file which generates everything for you more or less, which I guess is also the same way with Maven. You can, if you can figure out all the very archaic build commands. I've done Java in school and now prefer OOP versus functional. I didn't study computer science in school. I studied business computer science as kind of a really late switch because it's, you know, figured out way too late that I was bad at reading numbers. Very good at, you know, solving equations for sure. You know, failed every single test in multivariable calculus. The final, almost no numbers in it. It was just solving equations, and then you could just turn in like the final variable, or I guess the final equation sets, because there wasn't enough time to actually plug in all the numbers. Got more than 100 on that. But had to stop doing actuarial science because of that as well. Because you know, when you're dealing with money, you don't want people who are bad at reading numbers. Oh, there is no damage. What am I doing? Like OOP, but I don't like the inheritance approach. The component approach is more what I use these days. Yeah, I mean, it's always it's a mix of what you need, right? I think OOP has its place. You know, a components-based I guess that's just like an EC, entity component approach. Also has its place. So that's a very, also thank you Operator Coney for the follow. Like if you like the Unity style like entity component approach, you know, I get it. If you like the ECS approach, which I feel like Bevy is the biggest one in like the indie dev space. There was the one game that came out somewhat recently that also uses an ECS approach, somewhat high profile. Wargroove uses an ECS. A lot of older games, simply because of how programming worked back then, use an ECS approach. Let's see. I think I can just cheat this and just pass in an empty dictionary like this. Actually, is this how this works? If we go to abstract attack, don't I just generate a abstract attack? Hit, receive damage. Hit, hit. Data. What do we use data for? Nothing. Okay, I don't need to pass in anything. I just assume it's null. Yeah, but you know, there's not just the one approach for all problems. Just need to be flexible, find out what the best thing is for your project. Hopefully sooner rather than later. You know? And there's always ups and downs, right? So I think the upside of, you know, a pure data approach, which is the ECS, Entity Component System approach, is that one, everything is more just reusable, or it makes things really reusable. Oh, I remember how I did this. I remember how I did this. This is such a hack. Because it's not really a dash, it's actually like a teleport. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably still gonna just do that. All right, get ready to get copied. I wrote this code though, so it's not really copying. Let's see. So we do the dash position, vector 2 dash position is equal to global mouse position. We're doing a little bit of code duplication here, but who cares? We'll just add it to do. This is bad. And then, you know, leave a note and then never change it. Yeah, ECS requires more startup, but allows you to duplicate, or it allows you to reuse code a lot easier. OOP, I think for smaller projects, makes it really easy to get started, but if you don't have a good understanding of the entire system, it makes it difficult to plan out a good inheritance structure. And then entity component is like somewhere in the middle. That's how I see it, anyways. Distance 2 dash position. Also depends on how developers approach a problem from the beginning. Personally, I had an easier time to find an ECS solution than proper OOP. Yeah. Well, it's the you know, the triangle of concerns or whatever. Yeah, pick two. You know, do you want this done well, done fast, or done cheaply, right? I feel like ECS is more of like the, you know, it's done well. Maybe not done cheaply. Maybe it's just pick one. You know, it takes more time to set up, but it is a bit more rock solid in my experience, which, to be fair, is not too extensive with ECS stuff. I've done a lot of entity component stuff, and I think it's okay. That's pretty much how most enterprise integration frameworks work, is just entity components. So your entity is your data package, your components are all your integration sources, so you just kind of attach them to your integration package. I mean, knowing there are multiple ways to get a solution makes it mentally hard. I think there's only one way to think is the best. I shouldn't even try making a solution my own. I think it does kind of push you into, you know, and that's kind of an anti-pattern, but that's just my view. Maybe it's been working for you. There's multiple solutions to all patterns, or all things. You just need to find it. Some solutions are better than others. And I think as long as you can justify a solution, it's good. Must be that in Rust, the trait and options make ECS not hard to implement. I don't really know. I understand the idea behind an ECS. I've tried to implement my own in C# before, or C# and Java, and it's just, it's like I pretty much just did entity component. It pretty much just turns into entity component at some point for me. I'm probably not smart enough to do it. Not smart enough and don't have the willpower. You know, I prefer making stuff, not making libraries. Even though I did just write a library, but that's an entirely different thing. So, something similar to design patterns in ECS? Really? Totally isn't added. Yeah. So inheriting your edited component to your object, yes. Well, that's EC, and then the thing that separates EC from ECS is that entity components, you mix in logic with your components, whereas in ECS your components only have data, and then your systems operate off of components. So it's you know, how far do you want to separate your entities from your data to your, I guess, your logic. And so, you know, if you just go full OOP, there is no separation. Your entities all have data and logic, and they all inherit from each other. EC, your entities are just integers or whatever you want them to be, and your components may or may not be object-oriented. And then continues on and on down, blah, 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 the more characters you add. Dash position. So you want the dash length to be here. So this is kind of capping our dash length to a certain, so you can't just like, you know, teleports behind you, nothing personnel son, you know? This way you can only dash a certain length. I cannot type today. Let's see. Else we'll do dash position. I can tell you though, between a lot of languages, or pretty much all the languages I know, and this is kind of going back to what is your favorite programming language. The one thing I really dislike about Python is that it's snake-cased. I think snake casing, kind of stinky. Big fan of camel casing, which is also kind of why I'm not a huge fan of C#, because C# likes to use Pascal case for a lot of things. Minecraft Forge, well written in Java, changed to an ECS system for. What's up? Blah, da, da, da. Yeah, well, that makes sense. I mean, there is Artemis ECS is a pretty popular ECS for Java. I've actually seen it incorporated into actually like several web frameworks, which is kind of bizarre. A little bizarre. I don't really know how you would, you know. And mind you, this wasn't like it was like a pseudo like Spring Boot mixed with just raw J2E. So I don't know exactly what they were going for, but these things happen sometimes. Abstract unit position 2. Abstract player unit, abstract unit position 2. No, you don't have anything. It's in abstract player unit, because EC and ECS is easier to modify in runtime than OOP. Java, you can do bytecode injection, but it's really bad. Yeah. I suppose, wouldn't in Java you wouldn't want to do that? You wouldn't want to modify things at runtime anyways too much, because Java, what you're trying to go for is a long running program, not really a program that modifies itself. Well, because you're just kind of relying on the VM at that point to self-optimize, right? It's for the same reason, like it's really hard to profile like really short programs in Java, because pretty much like on the first few passes in your Java program, it's not going to be optimized. What you want to do is like wait like a day and then come back to it and then start profiling so that the VM can optimize certain parts of it. Like that, I remember that is one of the things that that's one of the gotchas, is that, you know, if you have a program that runs once in Java, it's going to run horribly, pretty much. Minecraft mod loading, there's not much I can do against it. Yeah, that's fair. I don't do Minecraft mods. I started playing Minecraft again. So I played Minecraft way back in the beta days. So I bought it for like 12 bucks or 15 bucks way back in, I think it was like before 2013. Like I still have my original like Dishonored skin when that first came out. When did Dishonored come out? Dishonored release date. When did that come out? Oh my god. So I guess I bought Minecraft in like 2012. And so I have a Dishonored skin. Yeah, but I don't know. Didn't do too much with the modding in that. That was before I kind of learned how to really program, or got interested in doing programming as just like a thing to do. All right, so position 2. This should be protected. Yeah. So I should have access to this. Protect. Oh, that's not position 2. Yeah, there we go. Was I just typing it wrong? I might have been. Dash position. Minecraft. That's the reason I learned Java. Started with bucket plugins and moved to Forge mods. You kids nowadays and your buckets and your forges. The only things I really did to customize Minecraft, and even now I don't even use like a texture pack or shaders. I just do vanilla. Just okay. Don't say it. Don't say it. Almost made just a absolutely horrible joke. Override, avoid. I do need to start adding the rest of the skills to implement. But I think this is fine for now. So we'll just add like a to-do stub. I can somehow crazy learn more about Java than we learned in university. Oh yeah. Well, here's a hot take. You know, I think I can count the number of classes that were useful to me in university on one hand. Like, there were basically no classes that I found worthwhile, and it should be noted that I, you know, was primarily a business major as well. Reflection, bytecode manipulation. Most people don't know Java can do that. Reflection. Bytecode manipulation. It's not something you really should be doing all that often, but I guess you can. Reflection, if you do like just web development, I guess you use reflection, but you use it wrapped behind like annotations, and most people don't need to write their own annotations, so I suppose that's fine. Runtime reflection though, very slow. You want to avoid that as much as possible. Oh. Thank you, Anwa, for the host. Much appreciated. Working through just another game, but this time in C# because I'm tired of writing GD script. Yeah. So we're doing this game. This is how this looks. It's pretty ugly right now. Actually, we can just test out this other thing that I just was kind of absent-mindedly writing really quickly. Okay, cool. That's good. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. So what happened? Where is my console? Good to jam APIs into parts where APIs shouldn't exist. Yeah. Reflection. Reflection is nice. You just don't overuse it because it does lead to spaghetti. Because things are happening, but they're not quite documented where they should be happening. Where are they? Tired of writing GD scripts? Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. GD script kind of, well, I think my biggest problem with GD scripts, right, is that it's not strongly typed, I guess. Like you can give it a type hint, but if at runtime you just pass it something else, the GD script will do the JavaScript thing and it just kind of accept it. It'll try to figure it out at runtime, which is very annoying. Which actually is still a bug in this program that I still need to fix. Yeah, because there's one part of it where it's expecting just like an object reference, but I'm passing it a value type of a dictionary, and it doesn't complain. So apparently I've just been misusing it for like a few months now. I've just never realized. Hello, I'm so late to the stream. I didn't get a notification you were streaming. It was sad. Very sad. I blame Twitch. Maybe you can download their files and submit a pull request, am I right? Yeah, one YouTube video where someone reflected Java to make 1 + 2 = 4. Yeah, I mean, not the hardest thing to do, right? I suppose. I don't really know how you would do that since the numbers are value types, unless you just kind of modify the built-in integer class at somehow. Which I think in Java is just a very strange thing to do as well, is that they have the value types and then a reference type for their value types. And you can't really mix the two, which makes it tough. 57. Hey. Oh, because I didn't instance it in. That's why. Okay. So dash. I was curious about your opinion on Godot's C# implementation. It is a C# implementation. I don't really have an educated opinion on it. I mean, it works. It's not the greatest, but it gets the job done. You know, I do like how well it's integrated. So like, unlike a standard GD native thing where you need to recompile it, etc., and GD native is what this uses in order to do like the little cursor thing that you can see on screen. So you can kind of see here that it's a bit jank. Yeah, so this uses Rush GD native, but every time you want to reload your code into Godot, you would need to recompile, refresh Godot, whereas C# is mostly seamless, so that's nice. What would be a better application for GD scripts? Well, GD script is nice if you just need to move fast. And then also GD script is nice if you're just working with the UI stuff. So I think my, preference at this point is like for UIs, I would rather write the UI stuff in GD script. I think for passing data around, aka like gameplay logic, C# is slightly better. Or pretty much anything that has, strong typing is better. But for UIs, I really like using Godot for UIs. Like for example here, I was showing this off earlier as well. It's a bit strange. So for my, a lot of my Game Jam games, I've been wanting to implement a high score table. Let me see if this will just work again. I don't think it's just gonna work just like that, but it would be cool if it started working. I don't think it is gonna work though. I wrote this so long ago, I don't remember how it works. Alright, so like this was working at some point in time, right? So this is a Golang just WebSocket server that exposes some ports. So in the future for all my Game Jam games, I want to have like a high score table or something. So I can just hard code that in. Those games will broadcast out their high scores and maybe like connect via WebSocket if I have something to broadcast. I don't know. Right, but it'll be over an unprivileged connection, whereas this one relies on an environment variable that I can then connect to, have admin access, clear the high score table, send some arbitrary data, and then this is pretty similar to what I would be doing in the Godot stuff, the Godot app, which is the unprivileged REST requests. So, I mean, I think for building like really quick tools, GDScript is fantastic for facilitating that. Numbers are buffered in the integer class. You can override integers between 0 and 255 because they're stored in an array. Are they? Despite being a Java developer, or just being like a kind of an all-rounder, I don't really know too much about the implementations about this stuff. I know how you would figure out the problem, but like deep understandings of how these work, pretty cool. Probably gonna forget it, but it's neat. Anyways, this is not relevant. Just wanted to show. This is what I would use GDScript for. Possibly. Maybe I might move it over to the actual WebSocket stuff over to like C# or something. What does strong typing mean? I think I might be misusing the term, but so there's dynamic typing and static typing, which means that you can assume a type, or you can have a, well, okay, so there's dynamic typing and static typing. GDScript technically has static typing, but it's also hold on, I need to get it straight. You could just Google it, but JavaScript is a dynamic weakly typed language, so even if you do have a type associated with it, you don't have to necessarily assign that type to the variable, and then also you can reassign the variable to whatever else you want after you initially assign it. So say that you have, you know, some vector 2, then later on you can just change it to be like a string. It can store a string at that place. Whereas in Python, Python is a dynamic, strongly typed language, I believe, which means that you can indeed give it type hints, but you can just pass whatever you want at runtime. But if you have, say, dash position, imagine that this is in Python, you have a dash position, and then later on you try to assign a string to this variable, that would fail at runtime. I believe that's what that means. Reinterpreted and change strong means the type cannot be automatically reinterpreted. He's done it. He's done it. I've figured out. I've reorganized my thoughts live on stream. C is also weekly. Is it really? I didn't know that. That's neat. I suppose that's true, right? I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. I guess that makes sense, yeah. Because C, pretty much everything is either like a value or a pointer, right? And the pointers can just hold whatever you want. And it just lets you store whatever you want at that pointer location. So if you kind of overflow, it just truncates the rest of the data in that region. Something like that. And that's a big cause of, I guess, the security vulnerabilities is because of the data truncation, possibly. Alright, so this should work, I think. Yeah. So we go into here. What we're looking for is like for a question mark to just pop up. Like so. We're still on cooldown, so we need to wait. So we can just flip through these guys at really quickly. So this is a game based on skill rotations. Right now they only have their Q enabled, which is just the spear attack, and these are all just the same dude. Reduplicated 3 times actually. An integer become a string pointer at any time. Every integer is also Boolean in C. Is it? Really? Oh, no. You're talking to the wrong guy. Alright, so okay, so this technically works, but I do need to change the scaling because the original implementation was using like I guess sprite values, whereas these are not sprites. I guess they are technically sprites, but I'm doing cutout animation with bigger sprites, so it's going to be kind of MapleStory style graphics. Whereas MapleStory, they kind of give you just like a naked mannequin, and then they put all of the features on top of that, which I thought was, I've always kind of thought was neat. Okay, so let's dash length. We can just jack it up to 1,000. Why not? See, actually has no booleans. There's only 0 which is false and 1 which is true. Yeah, so everything is a boolean. Well, what happens if you have, is it just, if you have something that isn't 0 or 1? What happens? It doesn't get truncated to 0 or 1. It's still like 2, where you pass in 2 as a boolean and see what happens. I don't do too much C. My only experience with C was working with Raylib. So I never really allocated anything myself. I let Raylib do all the memory allocation for me because I'm a big baby. Okay, cool. So as long as we flip between each character, we can kind of see the little question mark also spawn in there. Yeah, so as long as I do this, it's fine. Do I mess with the scaling for any of these? I feel like I shouldn't, but maybe I am. Yeah, some of these don't look correct. So this scale is 1, this is 1, area 2D, what are you? 1. This looks fine. Oh, because this one's still a pixel. Or this one is still pixel art. Okay. Ever thought making a fighting game? That was one of my earlier ideas. I think back when Hollow Knight first released, I was like, wow. I think I would really like to play a Hollow Knight style game, but with like, I guess like a more of a beat 'em up style, if that makes sense. Like there's not too many beat 'em up games that are also exploration focused. I think that could be kind of cool. It's almost like a Super Smash Brothers type thing with the, you remember in Brawl, if you ever played Super Smash Brothers Brawl, Subspace Emissary, that was my jam. If it isn't 0, it is true. Ah, okay. So he doesn't care if it's 1 or 100. The only rule is 0 is false and everything else is true. Interesting. Did not know that. The more you know. Yeah, Subspace is up. Yeah. So I was thinking something. I would like to make one of those games one of these days, but I just don't have. I don't have enough time. You know, I work one full-time job. May or may not be working 2 full-time jobs. You know, have a few side projects just in progress, like this one, open source. This one also open source. Also, check this out. Integrated with channel points. Also, this is written in Godot, so this isn't actually stream avatars. Chip away at it? No. I've already spread myself way too thin. Spread myself way too thin, unfortunately. So there's too many things for me to do at this point in time. So, fighting game stuff, that's a little too different for whatever I've done in the past, so I think that would require a lot more thought on my end. Right, the primary game idea that I'm kind of working towards is a kind of, it's an RTS RPG kind of hybrid. I think if you look far enough back on like Wayback Machine or something, hopefully you could, way back when I started, I was working on that. There are builds of that somewhere. I don't know where they are though. All right, but this works more or less. Let's start to fix the enemy dying animation, or not dying animation, but it's like dying logic. So right now they don't actually free themselves when they die, they just kind of sit there. I would like to see that RPG. Well, it actually got fairly far along, right? It's just that the amounts of garbage code that kind of built out along the way was just way too much. So let me see, I can probably pull it up. What is it called? It's like deployment, strategy, RERX. Okay, I actually still have it. Let's get distracted again. And let's git clone whatever this is. Yeah, we can try to load it in. All right, so let's import this file. Deployment strategy RERX, because this is the third time I've rewritten it. So let's import it. We can take a look at it. There might be music. Oh, this is, oh, I remember this. This is not a great one. Yeah, and this is also not the one. You can see that I really haven't changed how I handle, whatchamacallit. I haven't really changed how I handle folder structure. The folder structure I go with nowadays is pretty much the same, except that this one has a little GD native Rust thing to handle the detection algorithm. Want to make a game like DayZ but with Silent Hill 1 graphics, smooth transitions and really cool stuff that will never happen. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Oh no. Invalid get index quest data. I don't remember. Does this require me to... How does this work? I don't... It's relatively undocumented. Deployment CD, deployment RERX. And then we need to go into... Oh, I remember, because this is Rust. Yeah, and then there should be a cargo at the very... You know what? We're not gonna... I need to remember how to build it again. Anyways. I have it on my older computer, but I no longer have it on this computer because this is a new one. I guess I should open source this at some point though. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Let's just open source it now. If you want to try to figure it out, you do need to have the Rust compiler available. So it's win deployment strategy RERX. Type in my password. There we go. So now it's public. Cargo build. Yeah, but the error that I got here was not a Rust error. So I don't remember. Oh, well, okay, so here's the first part, is I don't have the DLL. I know that. But then the error that I got here at load data, this is not a Rust thing, so I'm missing something other than the Rust stuff. So in game manager 161, something with the save file is broken. The iterations my save file manager has gone through over the years, and by years I mean just like the 1 year I've been streaming. Actually, you know what? I think I've been streaming for a year, haven't I? What's my, how long have I been streaming for? When did I start? It's in my profile. Let me see. No, shut up me. No, shut up. Okay. When did I start? September 18th. Oh yeah, I've been streaming for more than a year now. Nice. Yeah, so and actually I've been working on this game for longer than that, but I think the rewrites that I've linked in chats, that one was started on stream. But yeah, my save file kind of methodology has changed quite drastically over the years. There is some other like fairly cool stuff in here though. Like there is like a pretty fancy schmancy music player. I remember that this took a lot of effort to do. Because what it does, it allows you to crossfade between pretty much any 2 tracks. So if you have more than 1 track, so the idea was that I would have multiple pieces of music I just queued up to play at any one time. And so, you know, you would have your, I guess, just normal theme, and then once you get into battle or whatever, you would kind of fade into the combat track. Once you're out of battle, you know, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I'll need to look into it. But that project is too big. I don't have enough, I guess, experience yet, right? So that's why I'm trying to go with a smaller project like this. So I'll build up patterns that I know work, instead of like figuring out the patterns on the fly for that bigger one. Yeah, I think that's kind of my methodology for a lot of this game stuff, right? And that's why doing game jams is also, I think, very valuable, like this one here. Let me just post another link in the chat and just really kill the pacing on my stream. Let me see. So I wrote this one on live on Twitch. Look at that. So you want to play that? I think requisites volume warning. Let me see. We can turn off this. Run the game. Look at this. So the idea, very simple. The scope of the project, also intentionally very simple. Also works as a web game. It appears to be somewhat stuck right now. So we'll just give it a refresh. There we go. Look at that. How neat. You can check out the VODs just in my channel. I suppose I can like highlight them, right? Since I am an affiliate, so I can keep these for however long. Yeah. Ooh. So, looking at the LD Jam stuff, this has been one of the big complaints. Is that the camera kind of sucks, and you know what? I don't disagree. And also another thing that I've seen is that people don't understand that you can just skip the farmer. You know? It does say ram enemies to eliminate them. However, I never state that this is one of your enemies. So if you kill this farmer, you're just a jerk. Anyways. Yeah. So that's kind of it, is that you can, you know, you control animals, they run into things, you accrue more animals to join your death ball, blah, blah, blah. And so what have I learned from this? I learned, I don't know. I think the way I did a lot of the like entity composition stuff in this one was pretty good. Which is also somewhat based off of my implementation for this game right now. So all these kind of game jam games kind of build off of each other, surprisingly enough. Right? Spacebar to go next screen, blah, 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 and you can do other stuff. Very arcade style. Yeah. Anyways, enough of that. Turn this back on. Yeah. So a lot of the structure, so what I was basically kind of building towards, right, is that this game was kind of based off of this game, or at least the structure of it. So party rotations. This doesn't have any music associated with it, but this is kind of what I'm rewriting. We gotta give it a refresh. Sometimes it doesn't load. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. So you can kind of see the similarities here. Boom, boom. We can just try to do all the skill rotation stuff. I'm trying to remember how everything works. But yeah. The way that every single, I guess, entity is laid out here is very similar to how they were laid out for this game. So everything just has a base script with some overridable functions, which is basically an interface, or at the very least an abstract class. Which is why I do want to move to C#, because GEscript does not support like explicit abstracts or interfaces, which the farther along I go in like programming and working on bigger projects, the more I appreciate abstract classes, interfaces, and all that. Right? Like when I was more inexperienced, I would just be like, why not just implement the class, right? Right when you're doing it. And the reason why you don't want to implement the class right away is because you might not know what you want, right? All you know is that you want something to be there, but you don't know what you want to be there, and it's hard to say. It's hard to say what you think should be there, right? Because you haven't got to that point yet. You know, you don't want to go to step 3 before you do steps 1 and 2. You know, and that's why abstract classes and interfaces are nice. which is why you can kind of see that everything here is an abstract class. However, this Game Jam game was written in GD scripts, using almost the same principle, except it's impossible to enforce the interface pattern or abstract class pattern, which is fine. Right? The way I do it in GD scripts is, instead of having like an abstract class, I just have a few base scripts, and then in the editor files, these text scene files, you can actually, as you can see here, modify some of these variables as script variables. So that's kind of how I implement the the abstract class thingy. I'm not a huge fan of that, but it does work in terms of a game engine, and also working in the bounds of GD script. Yeah. Something I dislike is relying on these too much. Mixing code and editor logic with each other, that's gross. It's gross. Right, instead of having to look through all the files, now you have to look through all the files in addition to the editor, which is tough. That's neither here nor there. On animation finished. Oh, you know what? It needs to be this animation. So we go back to slime hat, text scene. So we have a few things. We have idle, killed, run, walk, and those are all the kind of the same stuff. So killed, that's it. Switch animation name. So why did I do dash here? I don't remember why I did this, but let's continue going with this just horrible pattern of built-in strings instead of using enums. Alright, so we want to break, of course. I feel like I should do this. We can just stick an enum here. So public class, or this would be like a protected class, wouldn't it? Well, nah, that's tough. Something that you don't need to worry about in GDScript is, in GDScript everything is public. There's no such thing as public and private. Whereas C#, it does give you the ability to, I make pretty liberal use of protected, public, and private variables. In order to, kind of limit who can access your data. Now, slime animations. Yeah, we'll just do it here. This isn't a class, this is an enum. Slime animations, what do you have? You have you have all the basics, and then you also have just the generic animations as well. So where are they? It's in unit animation CS. So there's all of these plus the slime specific ones. Okay. Actually, can these inherit from other enums? Is that a thing you can do in C#? Yeah, I don't think you can do that. Yeah, I didn't think so. So these will just be slime specific ones. So that's dash, and then we'll have, yeah, that's pretty much it, right? There's only just the dash enum for now. Oh, but that means that you can't, can you extend an enum? C#, extend enum. Extending enums in C#. We'll go to my favorite site. x86 instructions, all right, no longer relevant. Let's see. We're more powerful, blah, blah, blah. You can use attributes. I don't like attributes. Attributes. No. No. Okay. They're basically just named primitives. Yes, I knew that. Okay, well, that's okay. For now, I think we won't worry about it too much. I'll do unit animations killed. Actually, isn't this implemented? This is just implemented, where is it? Where is it? Abstract enemy unit. We go into, oh, I did not implement it. Who wrote this? Okay, well, randomized state, yep, I did that. Animation player, okay, so I just did not implement it for whatever reason. Okay, yeah, okay. Interesting. Unit animations killed 2 string. I've been told before that this is not a great pattern to use. Recursive, hey. Can you not do this? Or is this why I like left it like that? Anyways, using enums as strings is something that I've been told is not great, but it's one of the few kind of anti patterns that I like to follow. Yeah, you know what? Let's just do that. We'll do that for now. So on killed, let's hit it with a Q free. Pretty easy. Should probably also fade out, but no, we can just handle that in the killed animation, right? So if we blow this up, yeah, we can actually extend the animation to be like 1 second long. 1 second long, he says, with slightly more vigor. Some sprite base. Want to grab the modulates, have it be there, and then here, do that. So it's just modulate 1, and then from 0.6 onwards to here, we'll modulate down to pretty much nothing. We'll modulate down to like, I don't know, 26, 0, why not? So this is how it'll look. Wow, and it'll fade out. Probably one of my favorite things about Godot's animation player is how strong it is. Okay. Yeah, still need to figure out a better way of doing this stuff. On animation finished. So the problem here with on animation finish is that this is hooked up to the animation player signal on animation player finish, or animation finished. So this callback emits an animation name as the animation, or as the callback parameter. I wonder, I believe you can generate an enum from a string in C#, but it's just a bit wonky to do that, so we're not going to do that. But I think this is fine, right? So we tested it again, check it out, hit with a bunch of Qs. Technically, yeah, okay. Technically W's also work. The sprite is super scuffed though. Alright, look at that. And the fun part in the kind of game design pattern that I've decided to go for here is that only your lead unit can take damage, which is why I think he's wiggling. He's about to fight me. No? Yeah. So if you wanted to do like a juke, right, since your, I guess, movement skills have a really long cooldown associated with them, right, you jump away, then like kind of flip between all your units. Since only your lead unit takes damage, right? but your units also do not just teleport behind your main unit. So you can just flip back to the the previous one all the way back there to avoid damage, if you know where it's coming from. I think that's an interesting design space. I feel like I've also said that on stream before, those exact words. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The unit stuff still needs a lot of work because it's pretty glitchy. I don't know why. I don't know why. Well, I know why. It's because I wrote it, but let's see. Let's see. I guess let's draw more sprites, I suppose. And we'll kind of finish up implementing the spearmen. Yeah, because that's more or less done-ish. Yeah, now it's just like implementing the rest of the skills, which is the hardest part. Oh boy. So we have assets, entities, and then there's attacks, and there's just gotta generate a huge amount of assets. My least favorite part about any project is generating assets. So what was the sprite scaling that I used for these though? So we go to party rotations, sharp. Ignore the party rotations OSU stuff. I was looking into the OSU engine. I thought that was kind of a neat idea. That seemed like a cool idea. How big is this? They'll tell me selection is... Oh, it's 256 by 256. Neat. So we'll do... This is 6 by 1. These are all 256 by 256. And so the reason why I'm using Pixel Edit and not like another program is because I just have Pixel Edit. Pretty much the only reason. Too lazy to get in other programs. I believe that this is a 7 square. Oh, is this not 7? Is this 10? No, is this 7? Could be 7. I don't know. What do like dashing clouds look like? Is it like... It's like a fart cloud? Yeah, more or less. Not bad, and we can make other clouds. We can just redraw the cloud mount a few times. And then just kind of... You know, instead of actually animating it, we'll just kind of make them rotate. Give these a few bumps, I don't know. To give it a sense of scale, I suppose. Yeah, something like that. We'll just have 3 clouds, and we'll just stuff all of the clouds into here, and we'll call it dash. This is what the dash asset looks like. Save. Beautiful. Go back to dash. Sprite. Oh, and you know what? I do need to generate a new icon for just default as well. So let's go back to here. Oh boy. Circle. Circle. That circle was not too bad, actually. This one, though. Ooh. It was going well up until this corner. Hit with one of these. There we go. Bucket. There we go. Question mark. So this is default. Export this. Yep. Hopefully this doesn't break everything else. So we go into abstract attack text scene, change this sprites to be, we'll load in assets, entities, attacks, default. It's a very large lad. So 1 tall, 6 wide. Yep, looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. So we can scale up everything as well. I think this shouldn't actually have a collision shape associated with it, I think. So you save this shouldn't break anything else. This might break dash, yeah. Because dash hasn't defined its own stuff yet. Yeah. Yeah. So let's clear this, save. So this will not have anything. This should have something. Okay, good. Godot has had problems with inheritance in the past, and where it will, if you change the superclass, all the inherited classes will, I guess, lose their changes, which is very unfortunate. But looks like that's no longer the case. How nice. Anyways, we go into dash, change the sprite out to be the appropriate one. So this will be dash, and it'll be one of these. Look at that. Add a new collision shape because we don't want them to be shared between stuff. Actually, this shouldn't have any collision shape, but we'll still add one anyways. How big is this? We'll call it 90. Why not? Let's make it 90. Feels about right. Then in the animation player, what we can do, there's a few things that we can do actually. We could attach a script to it, or we could just create 3 copies of the same dash attack. I think I'm going to attach a script to it instead of creating 3 copies, because if you look at my initial implementation of this here, you can see that I actually went with just creating 3 copies of the same thing for some of the attacks. So you can see thrust 0, thrust 1, thrust 2. Instead of attaching a script, because I decided that writing a script would take too much time. So instead I decided to do everything in the editor, which probably took more time, but you know, these things happen. Let's attach a script to this. So let's go into here, attacks, new file, dash C#. Let's see, using system, using Godot, namespace, party rotations, entities, attacks. Yeah, that's pretty good. Public class, call it dash, which will extend abstract attack. And there we go. That's pretty much all we need, yeah. The spear thrust doesn't actually have its own custom script. It just has something defined on the run script. Let's see, we'll detach the script, load this in. Oh baby, there we go. How nice. There's no UI just yet, but who cares? For this, we will, yeah, we'll loop it and then just do one of these, I think. Now this is actually somewhat difficult, so you might need to, I don't know, this is a little tough actually. Right, because if you can kind of see here, oh no, it looks fine actually. A little nauseating to be sure. Alright, so we go all the way here. I think there used to be a bug where it would, if you're going from 0 to 360 in terms of rotation, in this kind of 1 frame window between, you know, 0 and 2 that we're going from, it would flip all the way back to 0 in the opposite direction, but I guess they solved that. Or maybe I'm just crazy. Yeah. That should be fine. We'll go into the script. What does abstract attack do for us? I have totally forgotten. Does it give me a handle onto the sprite? No, it does not. That's fine. We don't need it. Yeah, all this stuff Sounds good. What we're gonna do is public override void. It's not gonna give me code completion. That's really cool. So we'll call base ready. There we go. A little bit of code completion, and then here. No, that's a bit tough. That's a bit tough. We can have an export var that's just like a counter of how many sprite frames we have. So technically, this sprite frame, or this sprite sheet has 6 available slots, but I've only chosen to draw 3 of them for some reason. You know what? Let's just go ahead and draw the rest. Let's make this easy. Let's make this easy. Let's just draw more weird clouds. Phenomenal. Why? They're all slightly different in their own special way. God, I hate drawing. One of the few things I've chosen not to try to get better at. Like I used to be, you know, not too good at piano, or I guess the keyboard. I still don't really understand how to play like a real piano when using all the pedals and all the associated stuff. But on a keyboard, got it in the bag, dude. Figured it out, more or less. You know, there's, you know, a lot of compositions follow almost the same pattern, right? So you have, you know, if you're playing up a scale, you're probably not going to go like, or if you're playing arpeggio, you're probably not playing something like a 1-4 something. It's probably going to be like a 1-5-7. That's pretty common. No, not 1-5-7, 1-5-8, 1-3-5, etc. And these numbers all kind of correspond to positions on the scale that you're playing on. So once I kind of internalized that, a lot of this stuff got a lot easier for me. A lot of this stuff got a lot easier, or at least playing piano and reading sheet music got a lot easier, because I'm not very good at reading sheet music in the first place. Which might seem a bit weird. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah. It's a bit weird since I've played instruments, or I played like violin and all that for I guess 7 plus 3 years. Haven't really played too much recently. But reading sheet music, very tough. Not very good. But kind of almost playing by ear, but not really. Like I'll look at the first, you know, kind of note in a sequence and then just kind of internalize the note and then just try to guess what the rest of them are based off what the song sounds like. Which is why sight reading without listening to the song first is very difficult for me. Was always very bad at that in terms of like violin stuff. But once I learned like kind of the number system and how they all kind of interact with each other, you know, 1-3-5, very standard chord. 1-5-8, that's pretty much a power chord. You know, things make a lot more sense once you have that kind of base level of understanding of how to, you know, read music or how music generally flows. It's when they don't follow the standard pattern that's when music gets really tough. Yeah, okay, so we'll just have we don't even need like a ready. We can just do this. We'll do sprites is equal to get node sprite. Please, I desire code completion. Area 2D sprite. Yeah. And then given that we have a sprite, we'll be able to access the kind of H frames. Yeah, H frames. So h frames is, what is this? This is this is an integer. So h frames, int h frames. Just using that as kind of a temporary storage variable for now while I think about what else I want to do with that. Also, I'm kind of noticing that what happened to my date time? Didn't this used to be, this used to give me like time end date? Now it's just time? Something seems weird there. I think I might have pressed a button I shouldn't have. Curse you, Windows. Your automatic updates. So we can set our current frame based off our, I guess, max H frame. So we can do sprite frame is equal to, I should have just random access to my app manager. And then because of that, we have RNG that we can then access. Random I range. And then this is inclusive, so we'll do it from 0 to sprite H frames. There we go. Looking to a Drake song remix. A little drizzy. Good as heck. Better watch your heckin' language in chat. This is a Christian stream. No, it's not. I cannot I cannot pull that up live on stream, unfortunately. But I can pull this up in my little stream monitor and then just like immediately mute it. Ah, jeez. Goofy remix. No, I don't want to get DMCA'd. Absolutely not. I think if it was a... I don't know, I just don't want to get DMCA'd. No copyright strikes, please. There's a difference between DMCA takedown and copyright strike. I believe you can get 3 copyright strikes and you're fine. But you can have as many DMCAs as you want, I think. Because DMCAs just mean they take your stuff down. Yeah. Copyright strikes, subtly different from DMCA. Yeah. So you can have 3 copyright strikes. I don't know the difference between DMCA and copyright strike. I guess copyright strike is like, you're using our contents. So we, I don't really know. DMCA is also like you're using our content, but I guess it's just like a takedown notice, where copyright strike is more of a legal term. But you can only accrue 3 copyright strikes on Twitch, and then you might get your channel deleted, so I'm doing my best to avoid that. I have been DMCA'd a few times though. So mostly what they do is just they mute part of the clip, or they mute part of the VOD, which is fine with me. Balls. Oh, did your looks like your subscription ran out, Needle Mouse. Or did you just hide it for whatever reason? Apologies for calling you out. Look at that. It looks okay. And by okay, it means it looks kind of bad, but I'm okay with that. So these should be applying to the entity layer. Okay. Oh, no, look, it's back. I don't know. How strange. Yeah, are you not seeing that in the VOD? Yeah, or not in the VOD, the chat. I'm missing it. There's a few more things that we can do with the script. So we can also, based off of basically just a very simple coin flip. So choose to reverse the sprite as well. So we do app manager, RNG, random I range, random F, random Gaussian distribution. Very familiar with that. We can do random F or yeah. Yeah, so we'll do if app manager random F is greater than 0.5, 0.5f. One of these. Then we can do sprite flip h is equal to true. Yeah, lowercase true, that's what I meant. Yeah, okay. Now how does this thing work? So we go to our spearman thing. So everything is basically an attack. That's kind of the thing I'm going for, is that everything is an attack, whether or not they actually do damage or not. It's more of like attack effect instead of like an attack in the traditional sense. But how are they being added to this screen? Because they looked a bit janky when they were being added. So let's see. Where do I want to go for this? The player line. And then add attack. So this is screen. Oh, it should not be screen. This should be combat screen. This should be on the Y sort, or on the entities, right? Yeah, so we can wrap this in another function for sure. So this is public, like add entity, more or less, right? Public void add entity, or yeah, add entity, right? And then we just assume that it's some sort of node 2D entity. And then we'll do entities, call deferred, and child, and that should work, right? We'll change this, so it's still asynchronous, but hey, what is this? Screen. Oh, okay. This is set by this screen. Let's think about this. Using party rotations, entities, screens, screen, eh? Screen, no? Oh, screens here. Sorry, it's the wrong, this interface level. So all abstract screens might not have an entities node. Maybe I should. So the idea here is that you would have multiple levels of screens that you would be able to do things on. Or there's two distinct levels of screens. So there is the kind of combat screen that you kind of saw before, where all the units just kind of spawn in there, right? And then there's the, I guess, like the in-between screen. Let me see. I think it's fine to call this a combat screen, I guess. Because we don't want to have everyone running around on a line on like one of the, I guess, the rest area screens. So you only want them to run around in a line on the combat screen, maybe. We'll need to think about that. That might be something that needs to be refactored later, but we'll get around to it. Add entity attack. Yeah, so this is just a wrapper function for a wrapper function, which adds something to the Y sorts, right? So one of these. So okay, now you can see that these are properly Y sorting. Very nice. And they also, surprisingly enough, also Y sorts with the unit's torso. Something is a bit scuffed about how the torsos interact with each other because of how the animations actually are structured. Yeah, that's a bit wrong. We'll need to think about the dash stuff later. That's pretty good. Let's continue drawing out more sprites, I guess. So one more. Well, actually 2 more, right? No, actually, it's just 1 more, I think. Yeah, because we'll have this one. We can just keep reusing the spears for pretty much everything. Might as well just draw more spears, though. So I'm just gonna, as always, just kind of freehand it. You know what? I'm gonna cheat. We'll make a reference layer so I can actually do this okay. Or at least so everything is more or less centered. Hooray! Reference layers. One of these, then more line art. So I just need the center point to be lined up. Everything else doesn't really need to be lined up. One of these. One of these. And give this one like a pommel or something. One of these weird cross spears. Look at that. It doesn't really matter since the hitbox is always going to be the same though. This one will just be basically a pointy stick. My favorite kind of spear. Pointy stick. Very familiar with that style of spear. Used those very often in my childhood. There's only so many spears I can draw though. Before I start running out of ideas. What other spear types are I guess there's like a halberd. That's a good one. What does a halberd look like? Halberd. That's not what a halberd looks like. It's a... I also need it to just fit within this hitbox though, which is the hard part. I guess we can't. I like halberds. They are... Or not... Yeah. Halberds differ from pole arms because pole arms are basically like a really long axe, whereas a halberd has a pointy tip at the end as well. Is that correct? I believe that's correct. Oh, no, we'll just have this be the same. But like slightly redrawn. And with slightly different colors. This can just be another... very quickly running out of ideas. Pretty much the same as well. We can have a little bit of flair to it, why not? A little thing on the side here. One of these. Don't know what that's gonna be, but it's there now. And then the last one. Just another pointy stick. This one's just gonna, it's not even gonna be a pointy stick, it's just gonna be a stick. Okay, cool. Then we will just need to go into there and color it all in. How nice. So say goodbye to the bottom layer. Top layer. We'll go really quickly. Yeah. Look at that. How do I want to do that? Okay, so this is like the shadow is on one side. Cool. This one, more of the same. Actually, this one's a lot easier, right? Because it's just a full stick. There's not even a blade on it. It's just a pointy stick. Something like that. Okay. This is spear with spearhead. Oh no. I feel like ads in progress. How do I turn off ads, man? I feel like ads always kill streams whenever they turn on. Is there a way for me to turn that off now? I think I might have enabled something I shouldn't have. Hold on. Go to settings, affiliate. Turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it off. Did it work? No. I apologize. I'm still trying to figure out this ad stuff because I noticed a new setting. I turned it on hoping it would like disable ads, but maybe it's actually like running more ads now. And if that's the case, you have my deepest apologies. If I could turn off ads entirely, I would. But I do know that I also understand that Twitch needs their cut, so fair enough, I suppose. Fair enough. Go into here. Look at that. Okay. And now we just need to grab this. More or less, right? Color this in. We'll grab that has a fancy pommel on it. That white tips like that. Look at that. This we'll make that like a red tip. How gruesome. Something like that. Very similar. Make that a red tip. Okay, so let's grab red. Nice. Look at that. That looks okay. That looks okay. In terms of developer art, not too bad. It does help that I'm going for pretty simple lines. All right, so spear, thrust. Spear thrust, I think I do want to attach a script to that now that I'm thinking about it. Similar to how the dash works. So dash will do something, well, let's see, where is dash? Dash CS, yeah. We can grab that, or we can put this at the abstract attack layer and just make it available. Since I can more or less guarantee the number of H-frames in the sprites. Yeah, but we don't want to randomize it every single time, which is what I'm trying to avoid doing. Yeah, so let's do this. We'll go to abstract attack. We'll do a kind of a protected void. Protected void. And then we'll hit it with a kind of a randomized sprite. Throw all that into there. Dash, we'll replace this. Randomize sprite. Go. We'll do something similar for the spear thrust as well. So go into attacks, go to spear thrust.cs. Using system. And now it's just a lot of copying. Going back and forth between these. Public class. Spear thrust. Inherits from abstract attack. Public override. Void ready. Base ready, yep. Okay, and this one we do want to randomize the sprite as well. Then one more, which is like throw spear, spear throw, yeah. Let's call it spear throw. So spear throw.cs, similar to this. Okay, oh. Grab this. This needs to be called spear throw. There we go. And the biggest difference between spear throw and like dash or spear thrust and all that, so spear thrust, CS, you can kind of see here. All we're doing is overriding ready. I think the biggest difference is that we also want to be extending, or we won't be extending it, we'll just be doing stuff in the process function here. So override void physics process. So there's nothing we're doing, yeah, it's really just the process function here. And then I usually drive everything via the animation player. I can still probably drive it via the animation player if I wanted to, but that would be a bit silly, I think. That would be a bit silly. So let me think. Let me think. Oh. Do you see that someone has joined my Discord? Oh, baby. We're getting there. We're getting there. Alright, so spear throw. We'll have a few things that we should be able to set. So there's like, on just the base abstract attack, there is the initial position and then initial rotation. Now for spear throw, we can have something else. Probably called, this is actually a good target for refactoring now that I'm thinking about it. Oh no. Then we can like get trapped into just true object-oriented hell. Right? So instead of just having like an abstract class and then everything inherits from abstract, or abstract attack and then everything inherits from abstract attack, we could have abstract attack and then abstract like targeted attack. Oh no. And then just continue to just like break it down into different like circuit, like abstract basic attack, and then like spear thrust might fall into that category, or like abstract randomized attack. Oh, that sounds absolutely horrible, but it might, if I can get down like the entire design of the game beforehand, and if like a true, you know, waterfall fashion, if you're into enterprise software development, true waterfall fashion, just gather all the requirements up front. I could structure my program like that, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to inherit from abstract attack for now. I think that makes more sense. So like public vector 2 position 2, which will equal vector 2 0. So we'll initialize it like that. And then in physics process, whereas it's not like position 2, this is like attack vector, which is still pretty much it, right? So what we can do is have like a private vector 2, and this will be like attack vector, right? So here we can actually calculate the your attack vector from your position 2 and then your initial position. So it would be, I'm pretty sure it's, how do you get position 2? So it's abstract enemy unit position 2. No, it's not this one. It's abstract player unit. Abstract player units have position 2s. That's position 2, global position. Okay, so that's how you get your position 2. Or I guess your position vector. No, your movement vector. What am I even talking about? This is how you get your movement vector, is that you get your position you're going to minus your current position. Yeah, so your attack vector is equal to position 2 minus initial position. And then the rotation, don't need to mess with that. Now here, we can have a speed also associated with the attack. So you have your attack vector, then have public float speed. So we'll just set it equal to 1f, but that can change based off of whatever we need this to do for us. Now here, this is the tough part. So this is our... How do we want to do that? We could lerp our position. No, that doesn't make any sense. I think we just want to spear thrust. This is a node 2D, so I don't have too many physics things available to me, and that's like intentional. Gotta normalize this. So this is our attack vector normalized to 1. Then we'll multiply it by our speed to get our, you know, our regular vector. And that's about as complicated trigonometry as I want to get into. Let's see. We'll go to... What is predicate? Oh, it's a delegate. Neat. We can just do global position. Or we do global translate. That's offset vector. We can do attack vector times our speed times delta times 60. Right? Because this is running on our physics thread, or on the physics frame, I suppose, which is 60 frames per second. So these, in theory, should cancel out, but they might not. Always need to be careful. But I think in pretty much every circumstance, if these don't equal out, then that's a bug. But I like to do that anyways. This is more. You would more want to do this like multiply by delta if you're doing everything in your process function, but that's neither here nor there. Let's go into our spearman. So let's add another private packed scene. Let's call this like a spear throw, huh? Spear throw. We need to load in a new scene, or actually we need to create a new scene. So abstract attack. This one is going to be called spear throw. Kind of limiting myself here, but that's fine. Save that. There we go. Sprites. Load in just more spear sprites. Add a collision shape to this. That's fairly simple. Oops, don't do that. What is spear thrust? What do you use? That's 128 by 16, so we can just copy that value. 128 by 16. How nice. Very easy AAB. Bounding box. Remember to attach the script. Load that in. Spear thrust, I believe, yeah, load that in as well. Now everything is just using C# scripts. Global translate, yeah. Go into the attack, spear throw, copy. We'll load this in the ready function, so spear throw is equal to GD, load one of these. Okay, now here we can implement it pretty easily. So of course we call the base skill 3, and all that does is adjust the cooldowns, which is good. Actually, I think I can change these as well, right? So now that these actually have real scripts associated with them. Yeah. So this one is like dash. Yeah, okay. So spear throw is equal to spear throw Instance. Okay. And then now I just need to do all the requisite this stuff. So the idea here, the reason why I'm doing all of this kind of whenever you cast this skill is the weird idea is that different units can just use different skills whenever. Or enemies might be able to use player skills. That might be kind of an interesting concept. But enemies and players draw from the same pool of skills. That's the most basic idea. Target group is equal to groups, enemy. Yeah, let's just copy all this, right? Pretty much all the same stuff, different name. Slightly longer lifetime. Let's see, spear throw. Boom, boom, boom. 2F. Should be going fairly fast. Might not be going very fast though. It does have a push associated with it, and then spear throw does need to have, let's see, attack position 2 is equal to your get global mouse position. That's fine. We're duplicating it again. If we don't want to do that, we can just do vector 2 mouse position is equal to get global mouse position. So we cache it, and then we can reuse it in several places. Mouse position, then this one is just mouse position. Yeah, okay. And we can also set the speed, spear throw, dot speed. We'll call it, I don't know, 100? Does 100 sound good? I think 100 sounds pretty good. So we load in. I think we should be able to run it, and it should just show up, right? So, oh, hard crash. That's good. Hey, what was it? Specified cast is not valid. Pack scene extension 38 174. 38. Spear thrust. Oh, okay. This needs to be spear. Spear thrust. Okay. My bad, my bad. Spear thrust. There we go. Let's run it from here, right? Should work. Always a bit of a toss-up if this actually loads in. Press Q. It's backwards. No, it's not. Oh, it's because Oh, I see. I see. Okay, so that works, yeah? It's a bit jank, but it works. This is a bit too fast. Half speed. Spear thrust needs to not, I guess, randomize the entire sprite. So abstract attack. We can do like a boolean. Should flip, where can flip, false. So if you want to be able to flip the sprite, we need to specifically specify that it should be flipping it, which means if we go into dash, we want to pass in true. So can flip true in this one, so right? Otherwise, I think in most circumstances, it doesn't make sense to flip the sprite. Yeah. And then skill 3. How did I implement this before? I remember that this one was pretty garbage. So it's like go into entities, player, spearman, and then this one just kind of like runs like kind of delayed. Yeah. Yeah, it runs like slightly offset. I remember now. So we do all this super stuff. Then we go for let's see, int I is equal to 3. I is less than, wait, 0. I is less than 3. I plus plus. Right. Then we want to do all of this just over again. Look at that. So don't do it all at once though. So now we need to do, is it it's like await to signal, to signal, let's see, get tree. What is it called? Get tree, create timer. Create timer. Yeah, 0.25. And then it's like timeout, right? Yeah, so this works pretty well in GDScript. I don't know how well this is going to work in C#, since you can't just like wait for an arbitrary amount of time. We could just have like a counter class instead of doing this asynchronously. I suppose it would more or less still be asynchronous. But yeah, I don't think I can do that. Can you do this? Can you just add async to an overridable class? I wasn't aware that you could do that. Interesting. Where is it? Did we crash? No, we're still here. Alright, so this is still randomizing itself, and also it's like very broken. Oh, neat. Okay, so there's a few things we need to do here as well. Mouse position should not change. Neat. This one, spear thrust, there's something broken with spear thrust. I'm not sure what. Let me see. Oh, and you know what? I'm gonna refill my drink, so I'll be right back. BRB. I'm back. So randomize sprite. What does this do? I think this is like messing up some stuff. So we're changing the frame. Can't really think of it. Look at the collision shapes and see what happens. So we look at this. Yeah, that looks about right. Yeah, that looks right. But we're not able to hit things anymore because, oh, also those are also backwards. Am I crazy? Oh, the reason why they're backwards is because I'm not respecting this can flip. So we do if can flip. Oh, what should do here? So if can flip and like so. This still doesn't explain why this is not working. So spear thrust inherits from this one. It's calling ready. That's all good. No worries. Something changed here. Oh, okay. So this needs to apply damage. This also needs to apply damage. Don't really know. I don't know if this is a good thing to have anymore. Since I'm setting a lot of this in just the where I'm now attaching scripts to pretty much everything in order to kind of facilitate pretty much every. Yeah, I don't know. Should apply damage. I feel like I still want to have it. Well, that's tough. That's tough. We'll keep it for now, but something feels really off about this. Anyways, I know I can turn this off. I can turn off visible collision shapes, run this via this like C# debugger. This will load in at the background. This works a bit better when I'm not, I guess, having everything just all on one screen. So this will do damage. These should all like shoot out like that. Boom, 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 boom. Guess just having a bunch of spearmen is a bit OP since they can all just shoot out like the rapid fire spears. How neat. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, should apply damage. You know, I might not make that an export. Maybe I'll just take it away, and then I'll just have to require... Yeah, you know what? We're taking this out. I've decided. It's... Should apply damage is true. Or actually, no, we can just do it here. Yeah. So ready is only called, yeah, ready is called afterwards. So this is good. Ready is called when the entity is actually added to the scene. So there's no out of order stuff here. Neat. Spear throw. What I should be doing though is, I mean, this is a bit wasteful having to set all the variables every single time, but we'll optimize that later. There's probably like a good way to, like I instance it in at the very start and then I just use a copy of that instance every single time instead of instancing it and then having to set all the variables on it again. So the idea is in the ready function here, right? Instead of just loading in the pack scene, I would actually load in the pack scene, then instance it immediately, and then I would just have the instance there, right? And then I would set all the variables, and then there's a few that do need to change, like global position, mouse position, but you know, lifetime, speed, all of that doesn't need to be recalculated every single time. It does not need to be reset. There's a few things that do need to be reset, like calculating the damage modifier or the damage multiplier, blah blah blah. Now that I've actually run through the thought process, there are a few things. There's a pretty good amount of things that need to be recalculated every single time, or things that could be modified at runtime, right? That's tough. That's tough. That's tough. We'll think about it. Ooh, what's focus assist? What is this? What is focus assist? Turn off. Full screen mode. What is full screen mode? Have I ever entered full screen mode? Or is this, does this technically count as full screen mode? That's dumb. Alright. What is this? Animation not found. P animation. Oh, okay, right. There's a few things that I'm messing up here. So spear thrust. Bum bum bum. Randomize sprite. Yeah, okay. So this is sprite H frames -1. Yeah. So that was one of the problems. Another problem is in spear throw, we just need to have like an empty run function. Right? Yeah. So I cannot set the run function on the abstract attack, because then that will be shared across every other thing unless I make it unique, but that's kind of a pain. Yeah, okay. This makes sense. I really need to get into the habit of running the application though from VS Code, because that gives me like crash handling as opposed to just hard crashing, which is a bit weird. So we can do that, boing 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 boing. So just have everyone fire super quickly. I do need to also add an indicator for whatchamacallit, the currently selected unit, because right now it is pretty tough to tell who is the currently selected unit. Pretty tough. Let's see. Yeah, that's not bad, I guess. We can add camera control as well. I've done that several times. Yeah. Spear thrust, that's good. Spear throw, don't care. And that, I mean, that seems to work, right? So, dash, bleh. Let me see, abstract attack. Abstract unit. Hold on. So receive damage. Have I implemented push yet? I have not. I have not implemented push. So I could. And what the push thing would do is that whenever you get hit by the attack, you'll be pushed away in the opposite direction. Yeah. You know what? Let's make more assets. I want to make assets. I'm not really feeling the entire programming thing today. I don't know why. Feeling a bit out of it, if you can believe that. Oh, you know what? We don't even need to make another asset for this. This can just be kind of a little scuffed. Be a bit scuffed. The outline will be a different size, which will be weird, but whatever. Spear bomb. A very ostentatious name, to say the least. So this will be the same spear sprite that I've been using for everything else. So spear, but we can actually rotate this 90 degrees, scale it up just like that. Probably scale it by twice. It's a very thick lad. That's a thick boy. Oh, now he's very chonky. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. It's just the big spear that falls out of the sky. Rectangle shape, so this will be 128 by 16. Look at that. And there you go. It's as easy as that. Let's add attack, so this will be spear bomb.cs. Bring me the dash stuff, so this is using all of this. Let's see. So this is spear, bomb, randomize sprite, take out that little bit. What is spear thrust? Spear throw. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We don't even need an attack vector, so what this will do is we'll kind of set the animation player in kind of a funky way. Alright. So when you're working in pretty much anything, you always want to have a kind of root node and then the offset node. So when you're working in 3D, you actually need like a huge amount of offset nodes in order to keep the positioning of everything consistent. Fun fact. Alright, so here we'll mess with the visibility. So let's grab the modulate. Basically invisible to start. It'll come out of nowhere. Boom, like so. Then we'll grab the entire area 2D. We have the position. It's at the best number possible, really. Like that. And then at 1, it will just touch down to... What is that? That's how long is this? This is 256, so negative 256 question mark. Yeah? Yeah, negative 256 because I did scale it up by twice. So normally it would be negative 128, but negative 256 because it's times 2 scale. And so then we can also adjust this. This will be ease out. Doesn't really feel like an ease out, to be fair. This is an ease out. Just make both of these ease out. Maybe this is an ease in. No. I think it's ease out. This is like one of these, so that's okay. It needs to. It feels very slow. That's fine. Spear bomb. Should have a script already loaded in. Phenomenal. Grab the spear bomb. Preloaded into our spearman. There we go. Vaccine. Spear bomb. Spear bomb. Let's see. One of these. Yeah, so these are all pack scenes, and only when you instance them in do they actually get like a script attached to them. That's kind of that's one of the weird things that you need to remember about GD scripts, or C# in GD scripts, or not C# in GD scripts, C# in Godot, I should say. That's one of the weirder things. All right, so let's see. Let's also grab, let's go ahead and refactor this really quick. So this will be vector2 mouse position is equal to get global mouse position. Grab all of this, mouse position. I was using it somewhere else. Or was it not? No, it was not this one. It was a skill 2, not skill 1. Get global mouse position, and then here we need to refactor out mouse position, and then this one, mouse position. Just so that we know that we're using the same mouse position for both the, I guess, the dash initial rotation, and then also this thing. Alright, so skill 4. This will work pretty similarly to spear thrust, actually. So spear bomb equal to underscore spear bomb instance spear bomb. Wow. Then spear bomb dot target group. I think this does need to be refactored. So I should do this all kind of initially at the very top. And then try to, so like target group, that will probably never change. Lifetime probably will never change. Speed probably never change. You know, attack effect probably will never change. You know, very few things are, I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for? Very few things are variable here. Oh, hello, welcome back, Knock. Are you feeling the 5G? Are you feeling it, Mr. Krabs? Spear bomb. Let's see. Initial position, global position. I feel like I should do this somewhere else, but like maybe there should be a constructor somewhere, but not too much you can do with C#. I can feel the 5G coursing through me. Oh, baby. Just wait until you hear Jeffrey's voice telling you to consume more products from Amazon. That's when it gets good. Yeah, get global mouse position, angle to point. Actually, this should not have a rotation. Now I'm thinking about it, yeah. Spirit bomb. Lifetime is equal to probably just 1F, right? Let's see, Spirit bomb should apply damage. Goes true. That's pretty much, yeah. Everything else, there's the damage. Spirit throw, Spirit bomb. Damage is equal to probably 10F. Actually, probably like 25F. Because it's more or less supposed to be like a kind of like an ulti. There is no data, so we can just kind of cheat this as well. Spear bomb data is equal to a new dictionary, nothing inside of it. Because there's no attack effect. Then line. Add attack. Spear bomb. Yeah, neat. We go back here. Actually, no, just do this from VS Code so that we get debugging support. And now we just wait. So we have this, we have our dash, which is actually a teleport. We have all of these. They don't actually push the enemies just yet, so that's probably next on the list. I also need to make it so that enemies will stop when they die, but then also, check this out. When is this ready? What did I set the cooldown to? Oh my god, I set it at 20. Alright. Also, this animation is slightly incorrect. So whenever they're finished dashing, it appears that their animation still gets locked up, which is a bit weird. Alright, let's see. What does this look like? Oh. So that works. Oh, it just sends down a spear at your current location, which is still kind of cool, but mostly wrong. I don't know why you would want to send down a spear at your location. Initial position. Oh, yeah, because it shouldn't be our global position. It should be the... what's it called? Get mouse global. Get global mouse position. Get global mouse position. There we go. To kill you, yeah. Damage yourself for a 10% damage buff. Destroy self grants team a 50% damage bonus. Hard reset. I do like games that give you a hard reset, but they make it so it's like I guess part of the game. So it's not just, oh, you reset, it's like, oh, guess what? Blew your brains out. Now you get to restart the entire level. Alright, so that should work, and then let's just change some of these values just for debug purposes. So instead of 20, now it's 2. Look at that. Wait for it. Find it at the very end. Boing. Alright. It's a bit weird. Kind of missed. The hitbox is very small on this. Yeah, because the hitbox is like exactly tied to the spear. I love games that have hard reset without confirm and it's mapped to a hotkey. Well, I mean, Super Meat Boy, right? Super Meat Boy has a hard reset. I think like games that are really quick to get back into, it makes sense to have a hard reset. I think, right? Because like, you know, precision platformers that you're expected to die a lot, it makes sense. I think games where, you know, from the same developers, right? The Binding of Isaac also has a hard reset button. You need to like hold R, which could ruin your entire like 2 hour, well, probably not a 2 hour long run, but like an hour long run. So that can feel kind of bad. Never accidentally hard reset Super Meat Boy or Isaac. I think it would be tough too. Be tough to hard reset in a lot of instances. Let's make this 20F. Spear bomb. We can jack up the collision for this as well, just to make this a bit more satisfying to use. So just a bit wider. Make it 144 by 32. Yeah. So it doesn't feel so bad. But okay. And that's pretty much it. Yeah. I think the assets don't look so bad, surprisingly enough. Yeah, look at that. Very sprites, or not very sprite, very Flash-esque aesthetic to it. Shouldn't only the tip collide? Yeah, probably, actually, now I'm thinking about it. Yeah, actually, that makes more sense, yeah. It makes more sense for this one to have the entire spear collide. Or for this one to have the entire spear collide, but yeah, that makes more sense for this one, and specifically because it's just landing on a point. Yeah. So we'll kind of cheat though. We'll kind of cheat. So we should test it, I guess. Let's test it one more time. 2 seconds. Send it. Where is it? That's a bit weird, actually. Now, so you switch. Oh, or maybe I'm just pressing buttons when I shouldn't. There we go. That's okay. I feel like that should be 2. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Now I just need to finish up the sprite work for the, I guess, unit selection, and then there's also the GUI that needs to be made. And then I can just, yeah. That's 1 unit down, 5 more to go, I think. Yeah. That's not too bad, because once I have the structure down, then it's more or less just implementing the skills. And then the skills, I have an idea for making that more efficient as well. I wonder though, you can just do like a duplicate, right? Spear, thrust, duplicate? Yeah, you can just duplicate like that. It will not work properly if the node contains the scripted constructor arguments. It does not. Yeah, neat. I do need to edit this. So on slime hat, bum bum bum, is dashing. So on animation finished is dashing. Wait. Dash to position. So this what I'm trying to fix is right now, whenever the slimes slide towards you, like sometimes the slimes will like kind of zoom towards you very fast. Not like that. This one he's just kind of wiggling towards me at like an expected pace. And now they're just kind of standing there walking at me menacingly. How menacing. They don't do any damage right now either. But I'm just waiting. Do a dash. Do a dash. I don't really have a... Oh, yeah. I think he's doing it. I think he's doing it. He's wiggling. Nah, he was thinking about it. Yeah, sometimes their animations get stuck. It's very weird. There we go. So this dash. No? You didn't get stuck that time. So they'll move towards you really quickly, but sometimes they'll get stuck, but sometimes they won't. Now. Attack. Where is attack? Is this handled in abstract enemy unit? So we go all the way right here. Process. No. Physics process. Handle state. Handle state. Attack. And then this is overriding, yeah, this is overriding the attack stuff. Yeah, so this is all handled here. In the physics process, so we do the base physics process, which is just your basic movement, and then handle state, which is just a switch statement. So, this is attack, this is overridden here. If not, is state locked, then is state locked is true. We do need to handle other attacks, then we play the dash animation. So here we need to, I guess, randomly pick between a few attacks. So we choose which animation to play beforehand. Oh. Okay, no, yeah. We will fall through to the end. So here, state locked, true. We play the animation. Then every single time afterwards, we call attack. We'll fall through, fall through, fall through. When the animation is done playing, here, and this is gross because we don't have a choice. We have to use strings here because this is a Godot callback, and the Godot callback relies on strings, and you aren't allowed to do enums, like do enum to string, even though I have these defined in an enum, which is tough. One of the bizarre limitations of Godot. I think if I upgrade to C#8, I can use enums. Why not? Alright, so check this out. If we do unit animations killed to string, we get recursive patterns is not available in C#7.3. Please use language version 8 or greater. But I have tried using this in C#8 and it kind of broke. Wasn't really able to load in a new project. But maybe I just recompiled it wrong. C# has no values for cases. Well, I think it's because this is not predefined, or maybe it is. I don't really know. Recursive patterns. I don't really know. Maybe if I just do no character. I don't know. Which one of these is a string? Like you can use like a regular enum, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. Cannot implicitly convert type to string. Yeah, I don't know. There's no easy way around this. I could upgrade to C#8. I could just do this. So all I know is that the one time I tried to upgrade to C#8, I got like a lot of weird errors. Got very scared and then just went back to 7.3. Let's see. So once we're done with the animation, is dashing is true, which means the next time that we call attack in our physics process, you could just use an if-else chain. If-else chain, I suppose. Yeah, I could. I'm not going to though. Because I am expecting to have more animations, so. So, let's see. So, yeah, I don't know. I like doing everything with switch cases. It doesn't really bother me at this point, but maybe I will change it in the future. If it does get to be particularly onerous. Isn't it easier to change if you don't use strings? It is, but it's not a problem right now. Alright, types, yeah. Yeah. It's not a problem right now. Well, we'll see if this causes a bug in the future, then I'll change it to using if else, but for right now, that's okay. Then if goal position, blah, 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 then we'll move and slide. And this is called in the, whatchamacallit? The physics process function, so this is fine. I'll judge you. Don't let me stop you. Oh, baby. I've never let that stop me before. So, is dashing false? Is state locked false? Collided units clear. It's tough. Then we randomize state. Then if we randomize state, then we go back to here, because I don't override that. Now this is the problem with deep inheritance structures. I need to remember where randomized state comes from. Did I override it in this one, or am I using the the superclass implementation? Is state locked false? So we don't exit early. New states, blah blah blah. Do some weird enum stuff, which is just horrible. Look at that. I feel like it might actually be really inefficient, in addition to also being really hard to read, since it's using reflection. Anyways, if new state is equal to current state, then your new state is chase, and then if your last state is equal to your new state, then just go back to idle. I wonder if that makes sense. Anyways, the problem is that the animation doesn't update. So let me see. I think that seems okay. I don't know. Something seems a bit sus about this if-else chain. So if your new state is equal to your current state, then don't do that. Default to chase, and then if your last state, wait. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Okay. So this is your new state. Yes. Your new state will be your current state. Yes. Whenever we change the state, we store the last one here. Yes. Now, if your new state is equal to your current state, then we change it to just chase. Now, if the last state beforehand was also chase, then we just go back to idle. Then we cache the last state, and then finally change the current state. Yes. And then we go back into handle state, because that's called just constantly in the physics process. Yes. Not overriding it here. Just do a really quick switch case. Boom, boom, boom. And then attack is overridden here. Okay. That still doesn't really explain why. Like I'm not calling the super function here in attack. Okay. Chase. This will be run. Move and slide, move and slide. If current animation is not unit animation's idle, I'm not doing anything weird on animations finished either. I'm only handling dash and killed. Let's think. Like, I want to know what causes the animations to break sometimes. I think that seems solid. That seems solid. I'm not seeing anything that is standing out as being especially broken. I mean, it is also a bit weird that they don't flip around to face you, but that's okay for now. Player units seems good enough. Hit him with one of these. Alright, he's getting ready. Get stuck. Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute. Alright, do that again, but I'll get into your way. So, maybe it's when they, like, hit your unit and they get stuck. Things start to break. Oh, he's doing it. Yeah, okay. See, now he's stuck. Okay. So presumably he's in his idle animation. What I need to do is add a debug label, so I'll get in your way again. No? That one was fine. I got in your way. I did not get pushed back, but I think that's fine. I can add that functionality later, so like it'll similar to how you know, unit attacks, your player unit attacks can push away enemies. I think enemy attacks can also push away you whenever they call the receive damage function. It's not currently implemented just yet, but I will. Alright, let me get in your way again. Yeah, see, you're stuck now. There's something here. There's something here. Is there like a minimum dash time? Is that it? No. If global position, distance to dash to position. Dash to position is defined by the current unit's global position, but it does not update immediately. And that's intentional. That's intentional, right? So that it allows you to dodge, or I guess essentially juke the enemy, since it will lock in at one position, pretty much your current position. But then if you can switch to like someone else farther back in your conga line of units. Right, that's the idea, is they dash towards your current unit and then you can just switch to the back and juke it like that. That's tough. That's tough. That's tough. Like, they get stuck sometimes, but I'm not seeing it though. I'm not seeing it. Usually it's something that's, you know, really obvious that's wrong. Right? No? Oh, he went to dash again. Very good. Okay, so now he's stuck. Is it if they hit something they shouldn't, they get stuck? Like if they hit another enemy unit, they get stuck? Add other tabs. No, it's dashing, yes. If they reach the point that they should be reaching, then they cancel out and then randomize states, which is correct. Move and slide, dash to position, minus goal position, normalized by, multiplied by dash speed. Yep, that's correct. I don't know. Let's add a note at the very least. Like, sometimes dashing gets stuck. Or is it because, like, the No, because see here. What I was thinking is that we just get stuck in the the play dash animation. Wait a minute, hold on. The play dash animation. How long does this last? Oh. Oh. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's not it. This is fine. Right, this is the dash animation. It plays once. Kind of leans back. And then that's the end of the animation. So it's not waiting until the end of the animation. The animation is not still playing. The animation, we just kind of lock the animation player at that point. I don't know. I think another thing is I need to add, what is it? Sprite flipping? What's the easiest way to do that? We could just cache the last position and then see it compared against our current position. I think I might just do that because that's really easy to do and it'll work for pretty much all units. I could do that non-specifically. Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't think I want to do it, I guess, in general. Yeah, I can think of a few instances where it might not be good to have the enemy, right, like, I think writing in logic for an enemy to, like, strafe around you isn't too hard. I've done that before. It's a bit weird, but not hard. So instead, let's just do physics process. We'll call all this stuff handle state, and then here we'll have, you know, private vector2 last position x 0f. Here we'll do bum bum bum. It's not a vector2. This is a float. So last position x is equal to global. You know what? Vector2. Right, then last position. Yeah, because the problem with setting the last position just the X is because of how property access works in C#, in that you cannot access fields on properties in the same call, as far as I understand it. Alright, so global position, there we go. And so here we can do if last position X, wait, no, if global position X is greater than last position X, then we'll do sprite. Hold on, we don't have access to the sprite. What is it called? Sprite base. Actually, do I just have access to the sprite base? Abstract unit has access to does not have access to the sprite base. Yeah, okay, that's fine. We can do it here. So this is private sprite, or no, this isn't even a sprite, this is just a node 2D. So abstract unit, sprite, oh no, we do have access to the sprite base, okay. I missed that. Sprite base. Sprite base is dot scale is equal to vector2 1 1. So remember, don't mess this up. Vector2 1 1. We can also cache this somewhere if we want, because I believe, yeah, face right, face left. Okay, so multiple things are using this, so let's actually now move this back out to abstract unit. So this should work. Now this should work, because now everything's inheriting from each other. So this is face right, else sprite base, scale, face left. Okay, face left. Nice. Yeah. So now they all kind of face that way, and then look at that. They should. That's a bit weird. It's like they rotate around sometimes. I'm not really sure how the rotation is working, right? Huh. I think something's wrong. Something is wrong with how this is working. Something's wrong. Something's very wrong there. Save that. Hold on. So with what I wrote, oh, you know what? I've got it. I forgot to update the last position. That's what's wrong. Okay, so last position is equal to global position. There we go. Beautiful. All better. See, I knew something was wrong there. So now when we kind of wiggle side to side, they should, yeah, now they update. Yeah, because it was just using their initially cached position to, I guess, update their facing direction, right? So you can jump, you can fire at spears, drop a spear bomb, maybe not. Do one of those. Alright. Next thing is when they are playing the killed animation, they should do another thing. Hold on. Process. What does the abstract unit base process function do? Okay. So do all these units have a speed, a move speed? I think they do, right? Do you have a move speed? Did I define that here? Where did I define that? Move speed, here. Oh, that's tough. Hold on. Process, health bar value is your health. Actually, no, that's just here. Okay, so move speed. If state locked, no wait, boom boom. If health is less than or equal to 0, aka they're killed, then we lock this state so that randomized state no longer fires every single time. We call process, which is based off of the state switch value. So we'll play that thing, then move speed is equal to 0f. Yeah, okay, cool. Easy. So I mean, this is really easy to test for. Just have everyone just hammer on this guy. Looked fine because he wasn't moving. Alright. Switch states and then go back to move state. Switch states. Alright. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So there's something very wrong with the dashing. So this uses the dash speed. Sure. That's tough. Dash speed is 500. Move speed. We can kind of cheat this a little bit. So instead of using a dash speed, we'll just do move speed times 2. So then that'll work. I still need to figure out why the animation doesn't update sometimes. It must be when it goes into one of the other animations, like idle, move, chase, right? Because we're not allowed to go to the same animation twice, right? Or is that what's happening? Is that I'm not properly caching the last state? Or the new state? I should be. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna save whatever I have right now though really quick. Oh, and I've been running my little Go relay thing. Just been broadcasting an open port on my computer. Oops. Luckily, the the Go relay doesn't really do anything, so that's fine. It is a bit scary though to just be broadcasting an unsecured port like that. My mistake. Please no hackerinos. Let's see, this will be party, rotations, sharp. Where am I at? Lots of new stuff. Git, commit, add attacks. Let's see. That's pretty much it, right? Add attacks. Push. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Seems okay to me. Anyways, I'm a little bit tired. I'm gonna call it a day for today. So thanks for tuning in. I'll be live Tuesday from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern time, working on probably this again. And yeah, you know, check out the Discord if you haven't already. Give me a follow. Pretty much everything you see on screen is open source except for this game. This game is not open source just quite yet, so until I abandon it, it'll be closed source since I do want to try to finish this one. But yeah, take it easy. Goodbye. See you later, Knock. Enjoy your 5G.